gives it to Eaglin again, and Eaglin's going to pick up some tough yards inside. Call it maybe 3 on the carry, so it'll be 3rd down for the Bulldogs.
And if you're the Bulldogs, you're trying to slow this game down a bit by getting a drive, staying on the field, right, taking some of the momentum away from the Tigers. Even if you can't score on this drive, it's important to have a drive that at least gets 2 or 3 first downs, I believe.
You know, we did that Jackson State Bethune-Cookman game a couple of weeks ago, and it was defense forcing the turnovers. I mean, in college football today, you have to hang on to the football. So now it's 3rd and 5 for the Bulldogs. Nice pocket for Langford. He throws a strike, but it's incomplete. Nice defensive play by Guthrie.
I mean, great coverage. And you know, we talk about, you know, the Bulldogs not being able to pass. Every time we've seen those receivers are not getting open. I mean, they are covered like a blanket. Look at that.
Cam Young was the intended receiver on the play, but Guthrie recovered quickly, and he was right there. So number 47, Austin McCready, will come on to punt the football away. Back to return. 7 McGee chases it down at about his 15-yard line, and here comes 7 McGee. McGee trying to get to the outside, still on his feet. He has a convoy on the outside, and he slips down. But what a big return by 7 McGee, and he was eyeing maybe taking it all the way to the house.
He sure was. Their special teams have been special today. And again, just what a great job here. The little bitty slight move there, and then crank up the heat. And then just watch how he does it. He's looking at his blockers, finding a way. And right there, he was just trying to be able to stop and pop and get it going. Just lost his footing.
7 McGee, as you see there, 5'9", 185-pounder from Rochester, New York. He's in now at wide receiver for the Tigers. Jason Brown pitches to Mulligan. Mulligan has a hole, and he picks up 8 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, back to 7 McGee. I guess when your name's 7 McGee, you know exactly what number you're going to have.
Makes it easy,
Coach,
doesn't it?
can I have 7? Why, son? Probably a short conversation on that one.
We have an injured player down. It's one of the Jackson State Tigers.
Tell you a quick update on the running game.
It looks like 81 Jinsey Riley, the tight end, who was trying to block on the play for Mulligan, was leading the blocking for Mulligan. Let's take another look. You see him at the right hand at the bottom of you, on the right side of your screen.
Again, he gets up in there. Everything looks fine right there. Right there is where his leg gets twisted a little bit. You could tell he landed right in between the twist of that left leg.
Yeah, Jordan Mitchell was on the ground. Nothing intentional there. He just kind of tripped over Jordan Mitchell and apparently injured his leg.
Yeah, it looks like he got tweaked. He got kind of hyperextended sideways, not even like, you know, in there. So hopefully he's all right.
Jinsey Riley is 6'4", 225 pounds, and he is a junior. That's not a good sign. He's getting helped off the field there. I mean, Coach talks so highly about that young man. As we take a look at their last matchup, see Jackson State a winner in that one, 27-13.
Yeah, the total yards was a lot closer. You could tell that the Bulldog offense got rolling as well with Jackson State, but today it's not quite the same. And again, you see there too, even time of possession, Jackson State can strike and score quickly. But again, today they've done that, but the Bulldogs have to answer now.
So Jason Brown hands it off again to Mulligan, and he's going to pick up some tough yardage inside there. And we hope Jensen Riley will be okay. Of course, he's been a big factor in this offense. You know, he's a tight end. I mentioned how big he was, 225. Runs a 4.5 40. So he can get downfield. But right now, his team is operating on 1st and 10 after that carry by Mulligan. Give to Mulligan again, and this time Mitchell meets him right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and to give you an idea of the running game for the Tigers, Mulligan right there has got now 30 yards on the day. And Miller, 53 yards, 17.7 yards to carry for him, and 13.5 for Mulligan.
Yeah, 38 coming on that touchdown run from Miller. That was Xavier Billingsley helping out on the tackle there, pulling him down. So 2nd and 10 now for the Tigers.
The Tigers have slowed down their pace a bit.
Brown will throw it. Has an opening. Now he's going to be sacked in the backfield. Jason Brown taken down by Hayden Aneagor Guilford on the stop.
Yeah, he kind of ran into that. He was feeling pressure on the wrong side. Right here, he feels like he can squeeze up, and he should have kind of backed out and around. Easy for us to say sitting up here looking at it, but he knew there was pressure. He just felt the wrong place where it was coming from.
Yeah, Hayden Aneagor Guilford on the sack, his first of the season. And now Jason Brown's looking at a 3rd and 15 for a first down. Dumps it off to 7 McGee, trying to operate. But boy, did they read that play. A good recovery by the Bulldogs on defense.
What a big stop for the Bulldogs there, and you hit it on the head, Butch. It was a great read. As soon as that ball went, he fakes right, but it did not fool them. They came right there prepared, slowed him down, wait for your friends to get there and clean it all up.
Yeah, Jamarian Ellis, number 7, just sprinted to that football. You know, the big defensive lineman, he saw something was going on, just went out there on a sprint, did a great job.
And again, tackling is so important, making sure you're able to get to tackle or slow someone down enough where you can get help.
So the Tigers punt it away, and it's going to take a Bulldogs bounce. That was Avery Salerno, the punter. And you may remember he punted 2 weeks ago because Matt Knoll was injured in practice. Matt Knoll, the normal punter, has not recovered enough. So the punting duties today will be handled by Avery Salerno. He'll be punting. Also, the extra points, Lalani Armenta will handle the extra points. She's the young lady who made her debut 2 weeks ago for Jackson State, the first woman in Jackson State history to kick in a football game. Also, maybe the first woman in HBCU history to kick in a game. So here come the Bulldogs on offense, and it's Langford on the keeper as he spins back inside. He's going to pick up about 4 yards.
Yeah, he did a great job with the fake there, really keeping that ball in the basket of his running back for a long time. Pulled it out last second, was able to create some room and yardage for himself. Good 4-yard pickup there for the Bulldogs.
We're approaching the 2-minute mark here in the first quarter. All Jackson State so far. Bulldogs, though, trying to mount a drive here. 2nd and 7.
Again, with good field position here, they really need to make this drive count.
If you're just joining us, Xavier Langford has come on at quarterback, relieving Casey. He's going to pass it, has a man open, and he completes it to his big tight end. That is Bryson Clark, who has the first down for the Bulldogs. Nice fake in the backfield by Langford.
But Bryson Clark looks a lot bigger than 6'2". I mean, he just, look how he gets wide open. Great pass, put it right over his shoulder.
They go back to the running game, and this time Jackson State comes up with a big play. Antonio Doyle, one of the first Tigers to get there on the stop.
Now, the Bulldogs can find some room inside when they spread out. When they start stacking stuff in, the Tigers are not letting them go anywhere inside. They're getting good penetration just off the guard, heading to the tackles, tail running in angles. But when they run straight ahead and they bring things tight, there's just no room.
Alabama A&M has run the football well this year, averaging 147 a game rushing. And a good pass and catch. Langford right there to Terrell Gardner, who hauled that one in. Nice grab.
And again, great timing play. Puts it right there exactly where he needs to, and great catch and extension. Again, great coverage. Guthrie had great coverage on that play. It was just a great pass and catch.
Guthrie had a lot of jersey too, but no call from the officials. So here we go on 3rd and 1. Pass is completed, and that's going to be a first down for the Bulldogs. That goes to Ryan Morrow, who makes his first catch of the day, and he picks up a first down.
Yeah, nice job. Move your running back out, stack him behind the wide receivers, let them block, let them get the yard. Bulldogs starting to get a little momentum here and some rhythm.
And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter before Langford could get the snap away. What a
Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry I'm late. I had some obligations with my son this morning. Thank you all for tuning in. Go ahead and hit that like button. Interesting first. Once again, thank everybody for tuning in. Hello, everybody. I apologize about this morning. Once again, I had some obligations with my son for this Saturday morning. And if you all are just now tuning in, go ahead and hit that like button. Got some pretty good football going on today. We're seeing our run game being excellent. Jason Brown hasn't necessarily been passing a lot, but we do see that our defense is holding up pretty good as well. We have two different plays in which the defense was able to get a turnover. That easy touchdown points for Jackson State. Easy touchdown points. So as I said, this is for the most part, this stream is going to be way less monitored than my other streams, just because my son is still here. As we can see, just checking in, Grambling is up 14-13 versus Alcorn. So that's on ESPN Plus as well. So that's a big game with big implications for the West. And let me know what you guys think in the chat.
Alabama now. The Bulldogs from Alabama A&M on the move. They go back to Morrow. Ryan Morrow breaks the tackle, still on his feet. He's going to pick up another first down for the Bulldogs. So we have some exciting SWAC action going on today.
Yeah, and Murrow right here, his team needs him to pick up and make some plays. And right there, he should have had a loss on the play and winds up making a big, big positive play for his team. And that's exactly what the Bulldogs need right here.
This drive behind Xavier Langford at quarterback. This time fakes the handoff, passes tip, caught, and it's close to being a touchdown to Cameron Young, but he might be marked down. Let's see what the officials say.
In 1920, an athletic league was formed and slowly became one of the leading sports associations in the world of collegiate athletics, the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Today, the SWAC is looking towards the next century, growing, supporting, and transforming our intercollegiate sports activities for student athletes and promoting academic excellence. Each SWAC member institution represents a high level of integrity and sportsmanship. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Fresh off of that touchdown by that young man right there, Xavier Langford. The Bulldogs from Alabama A&M are right back in the game. We have a 21-7 game in Mobile, Alabama. Jackson State taking on Alabama A&M. Butch Alcindor and Jorge Vargas with you as we continue here in the second quarter.
Yeah, Langford making a case, Coach. You put me in there. I'm going to make some plays where you can't pull me out. And so, congratulations to him for driving that team for a touchdown.
That last drive, it covered 8 plays, 58 yards, and it was 4 minutes and 27 seconds before Langford ran the 1 yard for the touchdown.
Yeah, here's some numbers here for you where we sit at the game right now. Just 108 yards for the Tigers, rushing the ball, just 20 for Alabama A&M, and that's 9 yards a carry for the Tigers, 2.2 for Alabama A&M. And again, before that last drive, it was a lot worse for the Bulldogs, but they got things rolling now.
So Luke Moffitt comes on to kick the ball off. And the Tigers will not return it. They will be down, and they'll take over on the 25-yard line and start 1st and 10 from that point as they go back on offense. Anything surprised you so far in this ball game?
Honestly, I knew both teams really wanted to get their offenses rolling. I was surprised that because I think well of the Bulldogs defense and how they play. And I think what the Tigers did earlier, and you touched on this, they grabbed turnovers and they quickly turned them into touchdowns, didn't settle for field goals, very aggressive play calling and attacked. And it'll be interesting to see if they keep that type of attack rolling here. And again, time of possession goes to the Bulldogs, but the Tigers really have acted very quick strikes.
Jason Brown in the offense back on the field now. And they go to the running game. Ahmad Miller, who had a 38-yard touchdown earlier. This time, he gets about 5 right up the middle.
And again, Miller, just a good, solid running back. And he's looking to break one. And again, that was the big thing for the Bulldogs. You got to keep him contained.
Yeah, how much talent do they have in that backfield? Ahmad Miller, just a freshman, as Brown goes upstairs, and it's an incomplete pass. He was trying to get it to Isaiah Spencer, but good coverage over there by the defense.
Yeah, great coverage. Again, you sit in that hip pocket of that receiver, you're able to react really well to that ball in the air, but I did think they had a chance. Brown put it where his receiver could get to it. Again, look at it right there, that leap at the end. Could have timed that a little bit better, put his hands out. He may have had a shot at him. Good defense.
Zio Mume on the coverage, did a great job there. Kanichiwu is his first name. Making a big play over there, number 5. Bringing up a 3rd and 7 now for Jackson State. DJ Stevens went in motion. Brown to throw it. Has some time. Dumps it underneath. Has Miller, and Miller is upended in the open field.
Boy, Miller did a great job picking that up off the ground. If that would have been put where he could have just moved, that would have been a totally different play. Watch right here. Brown puts it, but it's so low he has to kind of bend down and just get it off the ground. And he's out of position and unable to move.
Yeah, and what a big hit by Montrell Campbell coming up with that open field tackle. Made a great job there. And the catch is actually under review because on that replay, you could tell it looked like he scooped it right off the ground, but it was impossible to see whether or not it hit the ground.
Yeah, I think he caught it before it scraped. At least that's what it appeared to me. But talking about that tackle, Campbell, what he did a great job is sometimes as a defender, you'll sit back and wait. If he'd have waited, he'd have let him get, let's see, that's hard to see. It looks like a catch to me, but him attacking didn't allow him to get his balance where he could do some damage. So I think that's important as a defender. At that particular time, you can't just break down and wait for that receiver. You've got to go attack him so that way he doesn't get his balance and can do some damage.
Well, you see that defense from Alabama A&M just trying to come to life here and make something happen and turn the ball back over to the offense. Looked like it hit the ground.
Yeah, it may have bounced on that. And that look, it looks like it may have ricocheted off that left hand and bounced a little bit. Yeah, it hit the ground. That sure did. Wow. On that one angle, I couldn't really tell, but yeah, right there, right. Yeah, you can see it. Hits the left hand, his left hand, and then it's going to bounce down. Yep. Yeah, it dropped. So they'll call this one back.
And of course, what they're reviewing is the completed pass because it was ruled a completion on the field. So the call is reversed. That was our referee, Daniel Harris. And it's going to go down as an incomplete pass, set up a 4th down now for Connell Maynor and the Bulldogs from Alabama A&M.
Well, Jackson State. Well, they're going to punt. Yeah, there we go.
So great defensive effort there by the Bulldogs. And the punt is away. Back to return is Terrell Gardner, but he's not going to have an opportunity because the punt was short and it took a great Jackson State bounce.
I'm trying to figure out why Jackson State, they must have felt it touched a player for them to grab it and not let it keep rolling. Again, that rugby style punt, not very high, but tends to bounce in your favor.
You know, when you first saw that play and you saw it bounce by Terrell Gardner, his first instinct was to run after that ball. So,
yeah.
And you only do that as if you touch it or something like that. Right. So it's hard to really make that call.
I always call those things, when that ball's around there, it's radioactive. Get away from it. Let it do its thing. And
so how about the Bulldogs? Back on offense, 12:48 to go here in the first half after a touchdown drive led by Xavier Langford. He took them 8 plays, 58 yards last time they had the football for a touchdown. He's back in the ball game again. And he fires and completes his pass, a good pass, and he's going to be thrown out of bounds. That is Hambrick, Keenan Hambrick, coming in motion and then catching the pass.
And again, what Langford did a really good job here is, look, he puts it out front of his receiver. He's able to turn and just go. That's what helped make that play successful.
7 yards on the play, and this time he gives to Eaglin, and Eaglin has the first down. So the Bulldogs are picking up right where they left off.
What they're doing is they're really getting a rhythm now, and they're mixing up the run, the pass. They're making quick decisions. They're not actually calling the plays as quickly as they were earlier.
So the Tigers from Jackson State will now call timeout. They want to check out something on defense. We have a 21-7 game here in Mobile. We'll be back with more in just a minute.
I have just started using Canva, and wow. Ooh. It's just me and Canva video.
Today I'm designing a Canva website.
Wow, it's amazing. This Canva doc is so visual.
Canva whiteboards really get our ideas flowing. Just needs to feel a little more us. What will you design today? At canva.com.
Scientists are updating COVID-19 vaccines for the fall and winter season. Because as the virus that causes COVID-19 changes, vaccines have to change too.
Thank you all for tuning in. Go ahead and hit the like button. What do you guys think so far? The defense has been coming up real big on, especially in the first half. Jackson State was able to convert those at least 14 points because of that defense. So I think if the defense continues to make plays our offense should have opportunities to score again. We shouldn't have any short supply of passing. I don't know what's going on with Jason Brown. It looks like the wide receivers are having trouble bringing those catches in. Ahmad Miller has 3 carries for 53 yards. His longest rush was, of course, 38 yards. Irv Mulligan has 24. Jason Brown with a huge first down on, I think that was on a 4th down situation. He ran 17 yards. And then Jacobian Morgan, of course. I don't know why it doesn't have 2 touchdowns up here, because I'm pretty sure Jacobian Morgan has 2 touchdowns.
Has had a different look and a different feel since Xavier Langford has come in at quarterback.
I think there's a couple of things. I think Langford's done a really good job, but also I think they committed more to the run. And I think the Tigers feel that a little bit, and therefore it's just changed the dynamic, made the pass open up. And again, they're committed to the run, and they're getting more successful at it.
2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs. They go back to Eaglin, and he's just punching his way forward. Eaglin with a big run and another first down for the Bulldogs. Peppers on the stop, but not before Eaglin picked up about 10.
Yeah, and again, Peppers got blocked early. He got fought off the block, but then fought back himself into the play there.
This time, Langford's going to pass it on first down. Has a man out there, but it's intercepted. B.J. Washington stepped in front for the Tigers from Jackson State University and came up with their 2nd INT of the game.
Well, Langford will want that back because his receiver is open.
So I guess it's just basically pick city today for
that
Jackson
play move
State.
he had right there, but he's staring the whole way. Look at him come running across the field.
That's his
to get
2nd interception.
Great job of seeing it and reacting. Washington starting to midfield and then just finds his way over to the ball.
I don't think JB needs to be replaced. I just think the wide
Maynard
receivers need to come.
And the Bulldogs from Alabama A&M, because they were moving. They had a drive going, but what a great play. You mentioned B.J.
Defense
Washington.
has been coming up really big
perfectly.
in these plays.
Ball floated a little bit and gave him time to get over there and make the INT. So Jackson State with the football now. They give it to Mulligan, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield.
Yeah, that ball was a little short and float too much. So, and now the Tigers, what do? I think it's big for them right now to get some offensive momentum.
Let's take another look. Yeah,
there he is right there, and it just floats. Look at he's open, but it's just short. And I'm not sure if he's throwing to his tight end or his wide receiver, but his wide receiver is wide open.
2nd down for the Tigers. Brown passes to Rico Powers. He caught it. Nice pass to Powers on the play.
Consecutively and consistent, Rico Powers is his only wide receiver catching big passes.
1st and 10 now for the Tigers. Brown with a nice move in the backfield, and he's going to pick up a nice gain. How about that? Jason Brown going to the wheels.
Yeah, what he did, too, is he didn't try to do too much. He got whatever he could get right out of it and then just got down.
You see the Jackson State scoring summary on your screen. Turnovers have been a big part of this ball game. Brown turns and gives it in the backfield and nowhere to go. Fine play. Richard Colson was the first Bulldog to show up in the backfield. Then he had some help from his friends.
That's exactly what you do. You get on that outside, you turn everything in. He lays his hat on there first. Look, just gets taken off and kind of almost hands off the tackle to his teammate there.
Yeah, Xavier Billingsley on to finish it off, but Colson made the play by getting in the backfield quickly. So it's 3rd and 4 now for the Tigers. 7 McGee in motion. Throws back underneath, has his big tight end open, and that is Stevens. DJ Stevens is going to have a first down for the Tigers.
And again, the Tigers not just trying to be too relaxed here. They're still attacking, and that's what they need to do. Bringing them from the other side of the field, crossing in motion.
Just a great design on that last play. And Mulligan this time is going to be stopped after a short gain, but you're watching that. They bring Seven McGee across in motion. He clears out, and then you have the big tight end come underneath right where he left, and it just was wide open. So good design on the play for Jackson State.
Yeah, and it takes time and patience, and you have to, again, not every play can be good unless if you got to execute, though. They did a good job of pacing themselves on that play.
Brown's going to sprint out to his left. Fires inside, has his man. That is a completed pass to Duke Miller. Nice catch by Miller. 8:19 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, this was interesting the way Brown threw it. Look, like he saw it. He just kind of had to, his arm delivery was a little bit different because the way he was running, but he saw him open, wanted to get it to him quick. Delivered it well.
So that was a first down for the Tigers. They go to the running game. It's Miller, and Miller is caught again in the backfield and dropped. Cortez Andrews, one of the Bulldogs there on the tackle. You know, we mentioned at the top, both these two teams have identical records. 3-2 overall, 1-1 in SWAC play. And you can see that Alabama A&M defense trying to do their part to get their team right back in this ball game and not let Jackson extend the lead. So they go to the running game. It's Miller. And Miller, such a tough runner inside, picking up that yardage. And 6 foot, 210-pound freshman.
You know what? I mean, he obviously, his brother must have done tackling drills with him, practiced on him, and therefore anybody coming to tackle him does not matter. His brother, Aubrey Miller, the former Jackson State standout, trying to work his way in the NFL himself. But I'm sure he learned from his brother how to get away from him, or tried.
You could put those games on YouTube. They're backyard football games. 3rd and 5 now for Jackson State. Brown's going to pass it, but instead he pulls it down. Brown has some room, and he dives forward. He almost lost the football, but as he dives forward, he picked up the first down. So Jason Brown making some good decisions as to when to run and when to pull that ball down.
And again, it's so important to keep your drive moving, keep things going along. If they're going to give you that wide open space, just take it.
Brown hands it to Miller, and Miller is caught and dropped in the backfield.
Oh, he was trying to make a move, got knocked off balance, started going backwards, and it just couldn't turn him back around.
Kanichiwu Eziomume in the backfield, making the big stop for the Bulldogs. And I'm just so impressed with this defense right now. I mean, they just will not quit. They're playing hard for Alabama A&M.
Well, there's so much game to go, right? You had a couple key turnovers. Tigers turned them into touchdowns. Alabama A&M just has to play their game. Just keep playing.
2nd and 12. Mulligan on the carry, and Mulligan again will be dropped for a loss. Call it a loss of 1 on the play.
I was going to say they really need to try to get him to the outside, but the Bulldogs were having none of that as well. Good stiff arm, but he still went down to the ground. Home crowd getting excited now to try to just get a big 3rd down stop for the Bulldogs.
Caleb Dawson on that last stop for Alabama A&M. That's 3rd and 14 now after all the minus yards on the rushing attempts. So Jason Brown looking at 3rd and long. Had some time. He started dancing early. Now he's going to run with it again. A flag goes down, and Brown goes down, and we'll see what the flag is. It's probably going to be holding against the Tigers.
Brown's a little nerve-wracking as he's taking it to the ground, right? That's the second time you mentioned earlier, almost fumbled.
Yeah. That ball was being bobbled as he went down to the ground, but it's going to be all for naught because there was holding on the play.
Again, he's doing a good job of deciding. There's a hole in that right corner there. Looks like the left tackle.
So that will back the Tigers up way back.
That's where you find Rico in the middle right here.
Call it 3rd and 23 yards for a first down. Brown being hunted down, and he's going to throw that football away. That was an excellent decision by Brown because he was under a lot of heat. So the Bulldogs defense How about the Bulldogs defense not willing to give up an inch, trying to make sure that Jackson State could not pad that 21-7 lead.
There's some confusion on getting the defense in there or the punt return team for the Bulldogs. Not sure where that was at, but
Terrell Gardner will go back to return the punt. As number 41, Avery Salerno, will be back to punt the kick again for Jackson State. Nice snap. Gets his kick away. Is going to hit and roll, but Gardner picks it up, and then Gardner's going to go out of bounds right at about the 18-yard line. 21-7, Jackson State out in front. We'll be back.
HBCUs are anchored by legacy. They nurture the talent and determination of their students and prepare them for a bright future. The Home Depot's Retool Your
Woo-wee! It looks like our defense is putting Jackson State in several different positions to make some points, but they've got our number with the running. The defense for Alabama A&M for their rush, they're basically sacking us every single time. So I'm gonna need for Coach Mo to switch it up. We need to see some sort of switch up here. They'll probably make the adjustments in the second half, but for the most part, it looks like Ahmad Miller's had 7 carries. Irv Mulligan has had 9. So we're going to need to switch up, of course, utilizing our tight ends a little bit more. There's a couple of passes that Jason Brown has got up in the air and the wide receivers weren't able to convert. We need to see some changes. You're up 21-7, thankfully, to the defense, and the defense has been making some really good plays. On the defensive side, we've had, I want to say, let's see, 2 interceptions, one by Kedron Kelligan, one by BJ Washington. Notice this is BJ Washington's 2nd interception of the season at a key time in the game. And then Devontae Davis with a fumble recovery.
Bulldogs have found some room inside there. I think the Tigers got to the sidelines and said we need to stop that because you can't let them have room in the middle. It opens up too much. Bulldogs have done a really good job of being of spreading the ball around here the last couple of drives.
2nd and 10, and the give is tomorrow again, and he cannot turn the corner. Antonio Doyle is up there quickly to make the stop.
And again, did a great job of stepping up and forcing the running back to turn inside, which turns into what? You turn them into your friends. You got more tacklers coming with your way. Make the running back have to make a decision. Get him for basically no gain.
Langford this time with an empty backfield. He's gone all the way since replacing Quincy Casey. Now he looks over to the sidelines.
So
as we
Quincy
tick down
Casey's
to the
out.
3:19 mark to go here in the first half.
They took Quincy Casey out.
Langford to throw it. Has some time. Gets set. Passes low. Was trying to hit Cam Young on that little turn-in pattern, but Hazel wasn't having it. Good defensive play.
Yeah, they're lucky the Bulldogs actually didn't have a flag on him. They had a receiver on the other side. He looked like he was trying to get the signal of what play the call was, and he really wasn't set before that ball was snapped.
I think we do have a flag on the play.
And that would be what it was.
Yeah, go ahead and take that 10 yards back. Can we talk about our kickers
Yeah, I believe it
for a
was
second?
Team
Do we have any
Boston Pace on
complaints
the
about
opposite
kicking
side,
today so
bouncing
far?
out, trying to look back to see what the call was. And so he never got set. And he wasn't on the line. He was supposed to be on the line of scrimmage. So it's either legal procedure or just movement.
So the penalty was declined, and it'll bring up 4th down. McCready on to punt it away. A lot of pressure on the punter. Kick's going to be short. It will take a Jackson State bounce, but it was a small Jackson State bounce. We'll be back with more SWAC football in just a minute.
Ooh, wee. All right. So the defense, let's go ahead and take a poll. We're going to go ahead and do the defense. What do you guys rate the defense so far? Whether or not you think it's an A minus, a B. What do you guys think about this defense so far? Y'all sound like FAMU folks. Let them folks figure out what they're doing with the offense. All right. I passed the D. Rate the defense. It's in the chat. Go ahead and place your vote in the chat for the current defense. What do you guys think about it? So far for me, the defense has been pretty stout, which it's great to see our defense holding Alabama A&M, because while the offense is struggling, the defense is holding up. I don't like to see that the defense has to keep getting on the field, though, and Jackson State's not converting those big plays to actual points. The first couple of plays that they made were right there, basically in the red zone, so it was easy for them to convert those to points. But getting down the field is a struggle for Jackson State right now. They are basically blocking for A&M is doing a good job of tackling during the run and stopping the run game.
This was the huge one. Fumble on the play right there by Casey. It's recovered close, and then Morgan again taking it in for another touchdown.
Yeah, that last the fumble at the 1 yard line left it where Casey was out and hasn't come back in. And Langford is now taking place at quarterback for the Bulldogs.
That last interception by B.J. Washington, and all 3 turnovers in the first half. 2 INTs, that one fumble recovery that just left them right there near the goal line. So that's been the story for Jackson State. But that's what their defense did 2 weeks ago, and they're just picking up the pace again this ball game. So JSU with the football now. Jason Brown fakes it, looking deep, has Rico Powers, and Rico almost came up with a nice catch. He was guarded very closely down there.
What a great adjustment by Powers.
That is not
just
Jason
trying
Brown's
to slide
fault.
back to the inside.
That's not Jason Brown's fault.
Just couldn't
Come
get
on
to.
now.
But good job as a receiver going back to the ball. It's my ball. I'm going to go get it. And that was his attitude.
Brown on second down, throws underneath this time, has his big tight end, that is Hayden Hagler, and he's going to be bounced out of bounds.
Tell you, they're going to look at that play again. I think
and you see Connell Maynor over there talking to some of his staff on the sideline.
I think Connell is just saying, hey, look, we don't play that. He cleaned it up. Good job by Connell.
Was a flag down, and the officials are talking about it now.
We need that 15 yards. Give us that 15 yards. Please give us 15 yards.
So what lip reading here, there was unsportsmanlike conduct on both sides. I'm just going to move on, basically.
Yeah, he's going to. Let's do it again, guys.
Right.
What? If he wouldn't have threw the damn ball at him, Hayden Hagler, you would have had 15 yards.
I like the way Connell walked over there and handled the sidelines.
Nah, that should have been
move
a
on,
penalty.
Yeah, you had a player who shoved a coach who shoved the player, I think, and then Connell came down there. So we don't want to see that at all, fellas. This time Brown rolling to his right, going to keep it. Brown has some room, and then he's out of bounds. But the officials handled that the right way to keep it from getting out of control.
100%. And again, Brown really making some good decisions today. And again, he's not the biggest speedster or the best runner, but what he's doing is running when it's effective, not trying to get too much.
It was a first down, Fred. That's what it was, a first
down there.
Jackson State in the white uniforms. Brown rolls to his left. Fires downfield, has a man all by himself.
There we go. There we go.
Touchdown for Jackson State.
There we go.
Fabian McCray hauled that one in, and Brown just floated that one up there and put it right there.
Wow, he was so open. It's one of those things. It's almost hard to throw it. He's so open. But Brown doing a great job there. And again, he had great protection from his offensive line. They rolled to their left a little bit, created the space, threw a perfect strike to McCray for the touchdown.
Yeah, you just don't want to miss him. You look downfield, you see a receiver that far open, and Brown did a good job of just laying it in there. So the Tigers tack on another point with the extra point. Dylan Wasson right there with the extra point, and that was McCray. Let's take another look.
Yeah, I mean, he is literally 5 yards ahead of the closest defender, and he throws a perfect strike, puts it right there. And again, even as a receiver, when those happen, you're that far wide open. You get a little nervous when that ball's in the air. But again, he grabs the ball, nice and easy, touchdown. That's the way you draw it up, right, Butch?
Yeah, you know, that had to be a missed assignment right there in the secondary. You saw Marquez Beeson giving chase, but he looked like he was just coming over to try to help out.
Trying to recover, yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
But again, I thought the play call, you couldn't really see it in that replay, but you had a running back blocking on the point of attack. And again, it looked like it was going to show some kind of run, and I think that confused the defense. Then you spring your receiver deep and threw a perfect strike.
Just a great pass by Jason Brown off the rollout. 47 yards. The touchdown goes to Fabian McCray.
40 more points.
As for the drive, 4 plays, 58 yards. And only 58 seconds. The Tigers have had some really short scoring drives today.
They sure have. They go quick when they need to. And it was a big answer, I think, because Alabama A&M really started getting a little bit more momentum as this game got going.
Dylan Wasson to kick it off now. 28-7. Jackson State out in front with 1:59 to go here in the first half.
You over here talking about great job,
here, I think you've had some success in the last several drives here. I think you just don't try to do too much, but you attack. I think you go at it, you attack, and see what you can come up with, but make smart decisions. Again, before that last interception, the offense was moving really well. Just Langford was a little off target on that pass, get the interception.
Yeah, Alabama A&M had a lot going on, but turnovers
Mario
has absolutely killed
been
them today. So first and 10 now for Langford in the offense, and he floats it high. It goes off the fingertips of Isaiah Spencer, and it's an incomplete pass.
Of who? I don't think he meant Isaiah Spencer.
Yeah, it looks like this ball might have been deflected right now. Just a receiver just hit him right in the hands. And again, that's about the third or fourth.
Gerardo Baeza has always been our kicker. He just was injured during the Texas State game or a little bit before that.
Well, Quincy Casey has been the better passer of the two quarterbacks. And now you're in a situation where you might have to pass a lot. Langford completes this one. Nice look on the turn in, and it's going to pick up about 8 yards. We call it 9-yard pickup to Keenan Hambrick.
Well, the Bulldogs are used to playing fast. I think if they just
It's
get in
not?
a rhythm, you get a few first downs, you can really get things rolling.
Who is it?
Minute 38. They got to call plays quick, though.
Whistles blow it. This one, blow the play dead, is going to be a timeout on the field as Langford walks over to the sideline.
They're saying we have a different kicker. Well, who is it?
Looks like Jackson State called that timeout. Little surprise there. They must not have been set or had the right arrangement of defenders that they wanted in there at this time. Wanted to make a move instead of leaving it in there and leaving yourself available to something you think they're going to do. You go ahead and make the change now.
Just to give the folks at home an idea of how dominant Jackson State has been on defense. 2 weeks ago against Bethune-Cookman, remember, they were off last week. Athen Smith picked up a fumble, ran 32 yards for a touchdown, and then you had Isaac Peppers sacking the quarterback in the end zone for a safety. So this is something that they're making a weekly thing here at Jackson State.
Yeah, hey, there's nothing better than a defense, obviously, that can get you points first off, but that just creates short fields. We talked about Jackson State scoring so quick. Well, it helps when you're in short field position to score.
Definitely helps. 3rd down and 2 yards to go for the first down for the Bulldogs. 1:34 left on the clock here in the first half.
You're going to see Langford just run this thing.
The Gulf Coast Challenge in Mobile, Alabama has been all JSU so far. And that one is incomplete. Good defensive play there by B.J. Washington, the young man who got the interception earlier.
Yeah, I like the ref right there. He was right on top of that call and make sure he told Washington, hey, we don't need any of that. Again, Washington, great coverage. Again, the Tigers defensive backs have done a really good job on coverage the whole day long.
4th and 2 coming up now, and the punting unit comes on for Alabama A&M. What do you think about this move as Austin McCready checks in?
Well, I thought that's why I thought they should have run the last play to keep the clock moving, because what they've kind of done is now given they're going to punt and give the Tigers back the ball with 120 something left on the clock.
Isaias Guthrie is down, and it looked like he may be experiencing some cramps there as they check him out on the field.
Yeah, certainly just stretching him out there. Looks like that left leg, calf, whatever. Didn't have to stretch it out too much, but they'll bring him to the side, and looks like he's all tight there on that left side. He's trying to go back in on defense, and you have to sit out a play, my friend.
As you take a look at T.C. Taylor, the head coach of the Jackson State Tigers. T.C. in his first year, but as we said at the top, was the associate head coach last year with Deion Sanders. Also played at Jackson State.
He's so excited
former
to be
quarterback and wide receiver.
And what I love is he was just so excited to be with his university, being able to be the head coach. He knows what it means to be a player there. He loves the university, and he brings that passion to his team. And he wants to keep them dominant. He wants them to dominate.
So whistles before McCready could get the punt away. We have whistles on the field. Illegal procedure against the Bulldogs, so we'll back them up 5.
I'm hearing Dylan Moore. I'm hearing Dylan Watson. Somebody send it to me on Twitter, his information.
Oh, he's they were late a guy.
Yeah, you got to be paying attention on the sideline. That was Cordell Patrick trying to get on the field for the Bulldogs. Came in late, and thus the flag.
I just want to know who he is.
Coach off more than that.
Mr. Hardy said he don't give a damn. Let the man
go back deep to return the punt. Pressure's on. They called a punt block, and they may have gotten a piece of that football. They were very close.
I was going to say they were. I was totally amazed. I thought they were going to get. Look at that punt. How short it was. They had to deflect that.
A lot of heat right there on Austin McCready.
And again, look at how much time you've given the Tigers. They got 121 left. Let's take a look at that punt again to see if they actually did get a hand on it. I can't tell. But they were coming.
Oh, maybe right there.
Yeah, maybe.
It could have been. He stuck the hand out.
After that punt, you'd probably want to, as a punter, say it was tipped.
That Austin McCready punt, 17 yards, and it goes out of bounds. So here comes Jackson State with another opportunity to put some points on the board. Jason Brown with a lot of time. Fires to an open receiver. It's caught. And a lot of running room for Fabian McCray as he steps out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
Look at McCray just scored a moment ago and now gets another big
Can we
reception.
get this touchdown?
And again, Brown with all kinds of time, and he's just very patient as he throws the ball, puts it on target.
Y'all come up here for the
Tigers
for the
go
halftime
quickly
show,
to the
y'all.
line of scrimmage. This time they go to the run. It's Mulligan, and he's going to be close to the 5, marking down at around the 6-yard line. So now the Tigers will bleed the clock just a little bit as they are in scoring position.
Because time's not really an issue for them now. Now they can take their time. They just got to score the next couple of plays.
2nd and goal to go with the ball at the 6-yard line. Brown rose to his left again. Now he's going to be caught and dropped.
They need to
Brown
take a
could not
timeout
find
here.
a receiver. Xavier Billingsley coming up with another big play for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Billingsley had him dead to rights and just dropped him right there.
They let me know. Someone
Once
better
Billingsley puts
tell
his hand on him right there,
Alabama
he just
A&M
don't
we ain't
stop.
Tuskegee.
So Brown
ain't
couldn't decide whether he
Tuskegee.
was going to keep it. 30 seconds to go here in the first half. And now they're looking at a 3rd and goal to go situation. Xavier Billingsley, a 6'2", 205-pounder. He's playing a good game today.
He has. I think interested to see what the Tigers do here. I think a lot of people say you throw that corner, it's a safe route. You know, throw it out there. Either your guy gets it, and if not, you kick the field goal. But I'd love to see something turn into the middle. They haven't really done many plays that come across that middle there. Coming down that backside of the end zone would be pretty good here. And I'd like to see Rico get involved here.
So Jason Brown on 3rd and goal for the Jackson State Tigers. Brown under pressure, got away, still looking in the end zone and throws high. He was trying to hit McCray again. I think
Why
McCray
the
was
time
at
still
about
going?
the 2-yard line.
That
Pass
should
came
have
in
stopped
high,
at the
but Brown
24
under a
seconds.
lot of duress.
Yeah, but he did a good job of getting open, though. So you're right. He's in tons of pressure. The fact that he even got that ball off was pretty impressive. But again, now you go for a field goal, stretch it out a little bit more. But, props to the Bulldog defense stepping up.
Let's see if we can spot the kicker for Jackson State. We mentioned before, we do have a flag on the field in the meantime, but they've had all sorts of kicking issues going on
I hope they
at
give us
Jackson State. Of course,
first.
Geraldo Beza out for the year. He's their normal kicker, who's an outstanding kicker. And then Matt Knoll, the punter, was going to take over for him, and he had a quad injury. And then we had Leilani Armenta last week who came on.
First down. Ain't that an automatic first down? What? What is he saying?
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Ain't that a first down?
Now, the question is, does that give the Tigers a first down here?
Yeah, it sure does. First and goal.
Well, it looks like the field goal team is running back off. And
First
the
and
offense is
goal,
running on,
baby.
and Connell Maynor is not happy about what's transpiring on the field right
You
now.
get this ain't Tuskegee.
Yeah, you've given them a first down again.
Where's
right?
Jacoby and Morgan?
First and goal to
where's the ball
go
gonna be?
as the offense comes back out for Jackson State.
Where's Jacoby and Morgan? Put him out there. Let him run.
4 wide outs to the right there of Jason Brown.
They still have plenty of time to run the plays.
And now they put everybody in motion. They get set. Brown looking underneath, has his man, 7 McGee. It's a touchdown for the Tigers. So a lot of motion going on, but at the end, it came right back to 7 McGee underneath, and he made a nice catch.
But again, yeah, you're right. The motion. I mean, they moved their they literally moved the house.
This ain't
twice,
Tuskegee.
and then it winds up being a counter receiver coming from the far side there. You look a little bit left, have him come trail underneath, and you throw it to him. Watch him right here in motion. Fake to your running back, and then you just
Now we can just
set it
run the
right
ball.
over his shoulder. Great pass, great catch. That is extremely hard to defend.
Yeah, you put a lot of pressure
Who
on
is
the
this
defense
young
when you do
man?
that. I mean, you put in a lot of pressure on the defense.
Yeah, because it's like a drag route from the inside of your line, so he's running free, and you expect that defender
Hey,
to
Miss
try to
Gloria.
get up inside to stop it. And with a pass that's perfectly thrown like that, it's almost unstoppable.
Hey,
Lawson came
Mario,
on to
we
kick
need
the
to
extra
score
point
70. We need to score
for
70.
the
Real
Tigers, and
talk.
he drilled it in just like that. Jackson State played that perfectly as we take another look at the touchdown.
Yeah, you see how you get defense going one way. They got to respect the run, and then you just leave one guy hanging out there trying to catch up with that play. And when again, with a great pass, it's almost unstoppable.
So number 7, which is Demarion Ellis, has been ejected from the ball game, and now he's heading to the locker room, and that's going to hurt. He's a starting defensive lineman for the Bulldogs.
What did he do?
Yeah,
What
that hurts. And again, we don't know exactly what happened there, but obviously it was enough for the refs to tell him it's time to go.
Dang, what did you do?
Leaves his helmet on the field, and he's into the locker room, and Ellis is gone. Jamarian Ellis has been kicked out of the game for an unsportsmanlike conduct. And
Dang,
boy, you know, what
what did
another
he do?
touchdown for Jackson State, and they did it with some great motion on the play. So here comes the kick with 14 ticks to go here in the first half. Let's take a look at the infraction. Check out the right side of your screen. You can see right there, they're tangled up.
And the refs are trying to break it up there.
Oh,
Don't know
down
what
there.
else happens there, but they were both in each other's helmets, it looks like. It's kind of hard to see where that was initiated from or how it was, but the refs were right there. And basically whatever the infraction was, they said it's time to go sit down in the locker room. So, again, I'm sure Coach Maynard will have a conversation with them and puts more stress on the Bulldogs for sure.
Final 14 seconds of the first half. Bulldogs go to the run. Eaglin on the carry, and that's going to take us out. 5 seconds to go, and what a first half it was for the Tigers from Jackson State.
What you call taking advantage of all the opportunities you have, and not leaving anything left over. And that's how they got ahead, and they just kept the pressure on.
Well, the defense came out from the very first possession of the ball game when they got the tipped interception. They set the tone, and they kept the pressure on the Bulldogs for the entire first half. We're going to pause for a timeout now. We are at the
What a game, what a game, what a game. Why does it say 35? I thought there was an extra point that was kicked. All right. Halftime, y'all. It's halftime. If you guys want to come up and talk for halftime, come on up. I want to give my thoughts, of course. This is obviously the defense setting Jackson State's offense up for great plays. And we saw that a couple of those plays that the defense set up, that the Jackson State offense missed those opportunities, but it's good to see towards the end part of the half that they are able to convert those defensive plays into some offense. So we have Avery Salerno, who is punting. Once again, that's actually our long snapper. And he was basically called to, he said, "Hey coach, I can punt, I can punt." So he stepped to the table and started punting for Jackson State. The first two times that he punt, amazing. He got it to the 1 yard line, and then another one in the Alabama A&M's red zone. And then the defense was able to come up with stops between the red zone and the 50-yard line with a forced fumble and also the interceptions. And so, with that being said, we need to talk about this other kicker. His name is Dylan Moore, and we don't have any information on him. Dylan Moore, that's all we know is his name. So apparently, Coach T.C. Taylor held tryouts on Jackson State campus. Like, hey, if you're a kicker, come try out. And he was amazed by the amount of kickers that they actually had on campus. I'm amazed too, because this guy is doing a phenomenal job. But I don't have any information on him. Nope. So definitely an extreme improvement is, of course, the ability to get that ball, pin it down. Special teams is so important. And we also see the impact of having great special teams, and they've been tackling amazing. So I guess they worked on their tackling during the bye week, because it's amazing how they're able to get to that ball and tackle. Huge difference than what we've seen the past couple of games with Texas State and then Bethune-Cookman. A little bit of update around the SWAC. Grambling is leading Alcorn. This game not over yet. Grambling's leading Alcorn 21-13. Alcorn has the ball. This is a huge game with huge implications for the West. Grambling State is already basically in first place. So this will be a huge win for Grambling and a big loss for Alcorn. Let's see. What else do we have here as far as like updates? Let me see what Alabama State is looking like versus Bethune-Cookman. So it's the fourth quarter, and Alabama State is up 19-7 versus Bethune-Cookman. Fourth quarter, 10 minutes and 31 seconds in that particular game. Special teams is getting down the field. Absolutely. I think that the offense has been clicking in the sense that they're able to switch it up. So Alabama A&M, after a couple of plays, they had Jackson State's number with running. So Jason Brown had to convert. He did an amazing job of hitting Fabian McCray, and then he hit also Seven McGee. I noticed that in the South Carolina State game, when we were watching it, for the South Carolina State game, the majority of those plays in the first half were mostly running. And then Jason Brown was able to pick it up in the second half with, of course, getting his wide receivers. If the wide receivers could just bring down some of those balls, this would be, I think we'd see probably about 14 more points on the screen. I don't know. Does Coach Maynard get in the hot seat if it's anything bigger than 60, 70 points? I think that Jackson State has a possibility, if they continue to play like this, they can put 60 to 70 points up. And that's just because the defense is so dominant, and Jackson State's offense, they've been getting touch scoring in less than a minute. It takes them less than a minute to get down to the field and score. Mario said this is almost a complete game Coach TC's been looking for, but it's not there yet. And so it looks like Alcorn did not convert that particular possession to a touchdown. So Grambling has the ball again. Mario says, I believe Jason Brown has over 1,000 yards passing. So it's a little bit of a debacle. Let's go ahead and take a poll and see where you guys think of the what do you guys think of the offense? So right now, the first poll that we did was rate the defense. So 88% of you basically rated the defense as a B or better. So now let's rate the offense. Me personally, I think that the run game has not been good the latter second half, and that's just because, of course, Alabama A&M made those adjustments. So what can we do as a team to make sure that we continue this momentum? We don't want to see it stalling out. We want to be able to see them convert. Uh-oh, let me go ahead. They have the band live.
What an outstanding performance there by the Sonic Boom of the South in our halftime performance there by Pepsi. We're going to pause for a timeout now. 35-7, Jackson State leading Alabama A&M. We'll be right back with more of your halftime report.
JSU rocks the whole. Oh. Okay, let me see if I can find this information about Dylan Moore. Nope, still don't have nothing. So it looks like Alabama State will pull out a win. There's still some time left in the Grambling versus Alcorn State game, and they did just score a huge touchdown. What is that? Let me see.
Now, Coach Fred McNair, he can go for two.
I gotta go
Tied his ball game up. Here's a look once again. The throw by Allen, corner of the end zone. First, watch the reception, and then look at that right toe still on the ground, the officials say.
And they're going for two here. The
Kalani,
kicker looks to jump, throw, and nothing.
Now look. Now look. Now see.
What was
Alcorn
that?
had way too much time.
What was that?
And they go with the fake instead of just running a traditional 2-point play. So again, another special teams mistake by the Braves.
We'll see if that 2-point conversion will haunt them later on in the show. Anyway, it looks like it's 35, not 36. So I apologize. 35-7. One thing I want to talk about is Donovan Eaglin. He is a really big player for Alabama A&M. So I would like to see for the defense to continue to make sure to limit his carries. If you are able to limit Donovan Eaglin and just run the clock, I still would try to make some plays. Right now, Jason Brown is 9 of 18 for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. They did take out Quincy Casey. Even Langford is 6 of 11 for 55 yards, and he has 1 interception. So the defense has just been very dominant today. Let's see. Alabama A&M has had 3 turnovers, 1 fumble loss, and 2 interceptions thrown. And of those 3 turnovers, Jackson State was able to convert 2 of those to touchdowns. I think that Jason Brown's passing or completion percentage needs to go up a little bit more. They haven't been able to run against our 4-man front, only the 3-man front, which is telling about that 4-man front. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Bulldogs band. EA, we are not pulling for the Rapids. We are not. We are not.
We're going to have to take another timeout now with Jackson State leading 35-7 over Alabama A&M. We are at the half, but we'll be right back with more.
Nissan has a car for everyone.
Let me go ahead and check this poll out and see what y'all ranked the offense. Okay. So right now we have the offense, 60% of you ranked it as a B. 22% said C and 12% said A. I think the fact that we are up 35-7, and for the most part, everyone is in agreement that Jackson State has a lot of stuff that we can improve on. We are looking for them to continue this momentum coming out of the locker room. Prove these folks wrong. You have a chance to win right here and win big. I need to see another 35 points here. And you are so right, Miss Zakiya. The guys need to catch the long balls. I would say that some of those are underthrown, but it's not anything that they can't bring in. And there were a couple that was right on the dot and they weren't able to bring it in. We need for those balls to be bought in. It's very important that we bring those balls in. That's at least 14 points that I saw on the board that of missed opportunities for us.
You're listening to Jackson State University football on the Tiger Sports Network.
I was going to check in with Rob J and see what he had to say. But it seems like he's always on commercial. Lee rates them as a B. I also, the wide receivers definitely have to get separation. And I think that's something that we've actually been dealing with all season long is that separation piece. Can we talk about the defense though? And the difference that it makes? Did they switch up their man coverage from zone to man? I feel like the DBs have been playing man coverage a little bit more this particular game. I will have to go back and really watch it because there's so much going on. It's hard to see if they've switched it up. But I do see that we had 2 interceptions early off in the game. I feel like these DBs are playing more man coverage than they were previously. And I've also, we're seeing more of the 4-man front up at the front for our defense. So that's what I thought. The DBs have been playing more man coverage, which for them, a lot of those players that are on the DB roster, they're used to playing that style, man to man, instead of playing zone. And it's been working. We've seen Jalen Hughes, Keedron Culligan, Jaheim Hazel, Esias Guthrie's. They're all over the ball. They're all on the field and they're all over the ball. And we're seeing those plays.
To check out the news and notes from around the SWAC, brought to you by GM. First of all, check out the soccer honors from this week on your screen right there. Then we'll move to the volleyball weekly honors. Congratulations to all of those young ladies. And then the preseason women's basketball of the year. Teelan Bowler was the offensive player, and the defensive player of the year in the preseason, of course, was Angel Jackson. We'll be right back with more SWAC football.
This food bowl from Daily.
And I think that those adjustments will definitely be made. Hey, I went live like probably midway through the first half. I didn't do like a pre-stream announcement because I had my son and I didn't know if I was going to be able to go live, so I kind of just went live on a humbug.
Yeah, and Zarian Hayes is one we talked about earlier in the game that he needs to make a play. And again, he made Brown have to handle that ball. Brown did a good job of just grabbing that ball back and going down, realizing the pressure was on. But Zarian Brown, he's going to have to get after it. Zarian, excuse me. He's going to have to get after it. They need a presence of him in this game.
Call it a loss of 8 on the play. And this time, Tigers go to the run. And a lot of room over there for Mulligan before he's cracked down, but he picked up a lot of that lost yardage back. He picked up most of the lost yardage.
Yeah, and again, Mulligan, I think he's, it's funny is he's looking a little frustrated on his runs, just 45 yards or 43 yards, in the first half. He's looking to get over 100. And again, Miller had 57 yards, 8.1 a carry for Jackson State.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago against Bethune-Cookman, Mulligan had 174 yards rushing and a touchdown. So he's used to some bigger numbers.
Well, he's an electric player. He really is. I mean, I love watching him play.
3rd and long. Jason Brown, pass, and it's broken up, but we do have a flag down. Number 13, Montrell Campbell, was the defender, and he might be called for pass interference.
Campbell may have just gotten there just a fraction early. Yeah, he got there a fraction early. And again, with Rico Powers, you do need to get there early because if you're late, he's gone. And he was just there a little bit early. To me, that looked like really good defense, though. But, boy, if you're calling it super, super tight, he may have been. And maybe from the backside, it looked like he was on his back earlier. But I thought that was some pretty good coverage, quite frankly, from Campbell.
That call by our referee, Preston Clipper. Preston Clipper is our referee for the game. I may have said Daniel Harris earlier. My apologies. It's Preston Clipper who is the referee for this game this afternoon. So Brown back to pass. Fires, completes to Stevens. That's going to be a first down for the Jackson State Tigers.
You were asking me what I expected. I mean, I think it's important for the Tigers to keep attacking early. If they get predictable, we talked about the Bulldogs getting predictable. I think they just need to play, here's a new half, let's keep attacking with the football.
So a big completion from Jason Brown to his All-American candidate tight end. And this time they go to the run. Mulligan did a great job of spinning out of trouble there, but then would pick up what he could pick up on the play.
Yeah, and it was Zarian Hayes. Talked about him just a moment ago. He's got to make an impact on this team. And he did. He came flaming in there. He just couldn't finish the play there. But Zarian Hayes, boy, he looked like his hair was on fire there, how fast he came flying out the corner.
You know, they're setting a pattern here that's not going to work out too well for Alabama A&M. They make a big stop, get some loss of yardage, and then Jackson State bounces back with the first down. They've been able to overcome it twice on this drive, and they have the football again, 2nd and 11.
That middle's wide open.
Brown lost it into the end zone, has a man back there. It goes down as an incompleted pass. Trying to hit number 9, Fabian McCray, who had a touchdown earlier in this game.
Yeah, McCray, we know why a quarterback gets comfortable with throwing. If they know that if you can't catch it, you make sure no one else can. And watch it right here on the adjustment. The ball was actually on the inside instead of the outside, and he slides back inside and tips that ball away from the defender being able to make the play. Look at him right there. He slaps it away from the defender.
First drive of the second half, if you're just joining us. We have 12:26 to go here in the third quarter. And it's been all Jackson State behind an outstanding defensive effort so far in this game. They lead at 35-7. Brown on 3rd and long. Fires a strike, has his man, 7 McGee. That's a first down for the Tigers, and the drive will continue.
Well, I tell you, if you'd have thought they would just stick to the ground and try to make the clock move. How about making the clock move by throwing it in the air? They are not scared. They're almost more aggressive than they were earlier. Tigers offense truly clicking in full speed right now.
There was a flag on that play.
Nope.
Preston Clipper and his crew had a flag down, so that's going to cancel out that first down, and it's a holding call against Quavion Davis, number 79. So that's one way to take a first down off the books.
That's the way to slow down your offense. Self-inflicted wounds.
And now the officials are making a change on the scoreboard. Let's call it 3rd and 28 yards for a first down as Brown goes back to pass. Now he pulls it up. Brown is hit, and he's hit hard. He's knocked down well shy of the first down. So we'll see what Jackson State decides to do now.
Well, I'll tell you, you don't like your quarterback taking that shot in that particular instance. But honestly, we saw earlier in the game when he tried to go down himself, he almost like fumbles the ball a little bit the way he slides or doesn't slide. He was much better holding down to that ball with the hit than kind of bobbling the ball. So he's okay, so nobody hurt.
Dylan Wyson on to attempt a long field goal, and it is good. The kick from Wasson is good, and the Tigers tack on 3 more. Let's call it 38-7. We'll be right back.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself
Jackson State's been having all kinds of problems with their kicking game. Dylan Watson, this is his first game as a kicker for Jackson State, and he's already has a 40-yard field goal. So.
Well, maybe they found it through, sometimes you find the gold when you're not looking for it, and he certainly delivered today. Giving them some stability.
Let's check out our Pepsi SWAC slate of games to come. You can see on October 14th, Alabama A&M is going to be taking on Grambling. That's tough on the road. Then it's Alabama State at Jackson State. Arkansas Pine Bluff versus Mississippi Valley State. And then you got Texas Southern going to Florida to face Bethune-Cookman. Southern with a win right now over Lincoln. I'm calling it. Southern wins over Lincoln. And then October 14th, Prairie View at Houston Christian in Houston. So they go to the running game. Eaglin on the carry straight ahead. He's going to pick up a couple of yards. Number 22 is there to bring him down.
Well, that middle is a tough place to go to work if you're the Bulldogs, because the Tigers certainly don't give up much inside.
Antonio Doyle on the stop for JSU, so only a yard pickup there. 2nd and 9 now. And we got Xavier Langford. He's gone all the way at quarterback since he replaced Quincy Casey. Langford looking to throw now. Down the sideline, and it was good coverage down there by the Tigers.
Yeah, again, the Tigers' defensive backs are doing great. Not only was it great coverage from the quarterback, you also had up-top coverage. So, I mean, really, you had that safety coming over the top. There's really going to be no window there. But great coverage.
That's Jalen Hughes on the coverage for the Tigers. 3rd and long now coming up for the Bulldogs from Alabama A&M. 10:23 to go here in the 3rd quarter, and A&M just really trying to keep this drive alive here. 3rd and 9. Langford under pressure, gets away, still on his feet. Now he throws it, has Eaglin. Eaglin in the open field, and he's going to be knocked down as he got over the 40-yard line there. Khalil Arrington made the stop.
Eaglin doing a great job of being available. And look at getting out of that tackle and then having the awareness enough to just go ahead and throw it to Eaglin. Good catch, and then he turns it up and gets the first down.
Nice job by Eaglin to pick up that first down. But it was Langford who made it happen as Morrow takes it inside. He's got nowhere to go. A lot of Tigers, 3 Tigers in the hole, led by Khalil Arrington. But it was a fine play by Xavier Langford, who used his legs to keep that play alive before he passed to Eaglin for the first down.
Yeah, and he didn't get too rattled. That's what's amazing. You're able to keep your thoughts together as you've got people attacking you. That's just a great job.
Bulldogs will throw it on 2nd down. Langford has a man all alone. That's Cam Young, and he's going to pick up a big first down and a lot more on that play.
That was the first play that you felt like the Tigers really just missed the whole calling there. They left it wide open, and again, good protection this time. Left it wide open, and again, he just puts it right in. And, finds them in the middle, and they get some good yardage there.
The Bulldogs have some dangerous receivers, and Cam Young, he's one of them. You see 5'9", 175-pounder. And a lot of these guys have been doing a great job from the receiver position this year for the Bulldogs. They go back to Ryan Morrow. He's going to pick up about 8 yards. So now Alabama A&M with some balance going on.
Yeah, and I think that's key right now. If they keep looking at the scoreboard, they can't really, you're not going to be able to get all the points back right away. You just got to be unpredictable, execute really well, and just keep moving. And then a little bit later, then you start looking and see where you're at and what you need to do.
That completion to Cam Young, 28 yards, a previous play that got the big first down. And this is Langford up top again. Has a man, and he almost brought it in for a touchdown. It was Cameron Young again. He's going to be shaken up in the end zone. He's a little shook up there. But Langford actually had that one right on the money, just a good defensive play to break it up.
That sure was. I mean, but boy, you talk about dropping it in a bucket. Look at this right here. I mean, that ball's in the air, comes down. And again, good extension to go up and get it. But again, defensively, wow. I mean, when they hit him, that helmet came flying off, bent his neck a little bit. So hopefully he's okay.
Well, Anthony Petty saved the touchdown, number 24, coming over from his safety position, but there was a flag down, and I think they may be questioning the hit.
They are going to be looking at targeting for sure on that, I believe.
And there's the flag down there. So Petty came in there, and it was the hit by Petty late in the play that knocked the ball loose, but they may be questioning his hit. And that's a great sign to see Cam Young going off the field on his own power.
Yeah, I question if he had that helmet on, strapped on at all. That thing came flying off right at the beginning of that hit.
Our referee, Preston Clipper, will talk it over with his crew, and they're talking about whether or not it's targeting or not.
Yeah, and again, it depends on, again, he lowers the head a little bit here. Let's see where. I mean, there's no head to head. I think his shoulder hits the helmet, at least from that angle. Right. Yeah, the shoulder pad hits the helmet. Now he does go down, but there's no helmet to helmet contact.
As Cam Young is being attended to on the sideline. And the officials are still trying to come up with a call on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that, again.
It did look like it was a shoulder. It didn't appear to be, from the replay that we just saw, that it was helmet-to-helmet contact.
Right. So I don't know. Now, again, I mean, he was hitting him, but you're trying to dislodge the ball. I don't. The fact that his shoulder went right to his helmet, I think that's probably, I don't know if that's, I thought it was helmet-to-helmet, but they seem to adjust these quite a bit.
This is a better look, Jorge.
Okay, here he comes. Now watch, he's got, actually the ball's bouncing a little bit anyway. And then his shoulder right to that helmet, and you can just see his head pops back a little bit, and that helmet comes right out. That was a great shot, guys. And again, look, boom, as soon as he hits that helmet comes flying off. And again, I think that's what made it look even more dastardly, but I don't. Yeah, that was all shoulder. That there was nothing. It's just that helmet came flying off, making it look worse. And again, you know, Young certainly took a shot. Cam Young certainly took a shot there, and you saw his whole neck bend. So we're glad he's okay and getting checked out, but I don't think that should be a targeting call. Yeah, he said no foul for targeting.
No foul for targeting. Actually, it was Isaias Guthrie who made the play, number 6, who actually knocked the ball out of there, and then Petty came over, so that's a good call. They agree with you.
That's a first. Yeah, you see how, yeah, and you're right. Good defense right there by Guthrie, not letting him get a hold of that ball. Big 3rd and 5 here for the Bulldogs, and again, they'll be going for 2. So I think, you know, maybe they go for a run, try to surprise them here, because you're going to go for them both downs here.
Langford on the keeper around the left side, and he picks up the first down for the Bulldogs. A nice job by Xavier Langford calling his own number, keeping the ball and picking up the first down for the Bulldogs.
And again, the only thing that softens up that outside is when they do that good fake up the middle and then can bounce something on the outside.
So the Alabama A&M offense on the move again, and Morrow has nowhere to go. He's caught in the backfield and dropped.
That Tiger defensive line, I'm telling you, man, they have been impressive this entire game. And again, when you get up, you're just giving your defensive line license to attack. And they love playing that way, and they have certainly played this way the entire game. Linebackers and defensive linemen have done a phenomenal job.
Isaac Peppers came in as the leading tackler for this team. He also had 2 sacks in his back pocket. And again, he's leading the defensive charge for the Jackson State Tigers. So 2nd and long coming up, and Langford missed the handoff. And so he does the next best thing. He just keeps it and runs it straight up the middle.
Yeah, he tries to follow the running back through the hole, and that just didn't work too well because it wasn't much of a hole. And again, this is one maybe you bounce to the outside, but he just followed him through.
Harrington on the stop for the Tigers, and it comes down to third down again, as the Bulldogs are trying to get some more points on the board as we get down to the 6:37 mark here in the third quarter.
It's a quick hitch over here.
Langford rolls to his right, looking back the opposite way, runs the screen away to his big tight end, and he's going to pick up another first down. That's Bryson Clark. So well set up play by Alabama A&M.
Yeah, I thought it was a quick hitch. It was a delay. Look, they get everything going to the right, turn around and go back to the left. Well executed play, and good job getting all the yards you can on that one.
Langford turns and he heads straight ahead to Morrow, and he tries to get it down to about the 2-yard line. And a flag call, that's late after the play, so it's something extra. Big number 63 was in there. Joshua Anderson, the big offensive lineman for the Bulldogs, was talking it over, so he was near the point where the flag was thrown.
Yeah, and it looked like the ref was looking right at him, and he said, "Me?"
Thanks for that.
Yeah, you.
15
again,
yards.
I don't know. That's a pretty tough call down there in the goal line. You know, trying to stop his momentum. I feel like they felt he was stepping on the defender, it appears.
It's a personal foul against the offense.
Sportsmanlike conduct again. He said after
Thanks
the play,
for that.
so that's tough.
Yeah, Morrow took it down to the 2, and then you're going to see what happens after the play is over.
And my guess is maybe the whistle was just way done. And again, right there, that hit right there, that shot at the very end against number 24. It didn't look like it was too egregious, but at the end of the day, that whistle probably blew a little bit before that.
Well, they let him go with the first one. I mean, he was just peeling people off the pile. And he got away with the first guy, and then the second one.
Yeah, but what a tough call, right? The Bulldogs did not need that.
Well, you're knocking on the door. So Langford to throw it into the end zone. It's a touchdown. What a pass to Cameron Young. And number 4's made a great catch on that football to put the Bulldogs on the board.
Great job by Cam Young.
They done had the ball the whole third quarter. Good Lord. It's only 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
With that catch, he looked fantastic there. And again, you love the effort here. You get a penalty that's tough call on you, and then you come back and you just score the touchdown the very next play. Great adjustment to the ball in the air as well.
I mean, that looked like a back shoulder throw in the middle of the field.
Yeah, you don't see that a whole lot.
Not where you usually throw it, but just like you suggested, sir, they're going to go for 2 points here. 38-13 is our score right now. 5:31 to go here in the third, with the Bulldogs lining up to go for the 2-point conversion. Langford going to keep it himself, and he's going to walk in. Xavier Langford on the 2-point conversion, so make it a 15 points now. We're going to pause for a timeout now. We're going to go to break after that touchdown by the Alabama.
They done messed up the score. They gave us the 2 points.
Here's the touchdown pass from Langford to Cam Young.
Why do they have 40?
We'll be right
What's going
back.
on here? I'm confused about this too. What's going on?
Is it possible to survey foot traffic across all of our locations, or to help stop us?
Oh man. Uh-oh. Gremlin is up 24-19, and they got the ball on Gremlin's 26. It's a game. I don't know what they're doing with that score. Who is over here messing with the score? Bethune-Cookman loses to Alabama State. The final score was, I want to say, 19-14. Boy. If Alcorn loses to Grambling at their homecoming, I'm going to be trolling G so hard, it's not going to make any sense, y'all. I'm going to be trolling. I sure am. And Grambling has the ball now. 3rd and 2. You should have just ran that. 3rd and 2. I was pulling for Bethune-Cookman too. I was. I'm not even going to front. I was definitely pulling for Bethune-Cookman.
Scoring drive, 13 plays. It covered
5
75 yards.
Good
Took them
Lord.
5 minutes and 38 seconds before Langford threw a beautiful pass to Cam Young in the end zone, 17 yards on the touchdown. So back to return the kickoff.
We just
now
need 22 points to match the 60-15.
Is Isaiah Spencer. And the ball goes into the end zone. Instead, it'll be Rico Powers who goes deep to return. And Powers is going to make a nice return for the JSU Tigers.
I think Rico's so frustrated he wants to get that ball any way he can in his hands.
Let's check out our Pepsi scoreboard this afternoon. You see Alabama State a winner over Bethune-Cookman, 19-14. Grambling and Alcorn State, quite a battle going on there. They're 24-19 in the 3rd. Still to come, Florida A&M at Southern tonight, and then Mississippi Valley State taking on the Panthers from Prairie View A&M. That scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi. Let's take a live look now into that Alcorn State Grambling game. As you can see that score, a very tight score, 24-19 is your score. And while we're taking a look at that game, I want to pass on our condolences to our colleague, Santoria Black. His father passed away last night, and it's a tough time for Santoria and his family. We'd like to pass on our condolences. His name is Frank Black, and Santoria actually calling that game this afternoon. So all the best to him and his family. As we come back live to our action here as Mulligan makes the carry. Number 5 picks up some yardage there for Jackson State. And there's a flag.
Dang, how many damn flags can we get?
Our referee, Preston Clipper, has a hold on the play, and it's Fabian McCray is the guilty party on the hold.
Now, again, if you're Jackson State, I think here you want to just play a clean game, and you want to keep the ball moving, get a nice long drive here. I think you're going to start to see a little more sprinkle of run in here. But we'll see. The last drive they had, they attacked and they kept it moving. We'll see if they keep that same format this drive.
So the penalty brings the football all the way back to the 6-yard line.
Good Lord.
10 from there. Straight ahead to Mulligan on the run. And because of the pace of play and just basically the way the game has gone, we haven't seen as much of Herb Mulligan as we usually see.
Yeah, no, and you know, when he's been running real hard inside right there. He made a whole lot out of nothing. That should have been a negative football play right there. And he made a lot out of nothing. But you're right, for the way he likes to play, he's hasn't been as explosive as he likes to be.
7 yards on that last carry for Mulligan. Takes it again inside.
Yeah, Mulligan just a little over 56 yards a carry, 56 yards, 4.3 a carry.
Yeah, it's Coach tells us all the time how physical he is. And even in practice, he kind of gets the defense upset with him because he only has one speed, and that's full speed. So here come the Tigers now, 3rd and 7. 2 receivers at the top of your screen to the right, 2 receivers at the bottom to the left for Jason Brown at quarterback. Brown throws high, and it's, let's see, near the sideline. The pass was caught, but he was out of bounds. Incomplete pass. He's trying to hit Kobe Paul near the sideline.
I was going to say Brown's had a pretty good day right there, just a little bit too wide. That toe, it looks like that toe was down, but I don't know if he had control of that on the ground there, on the outside there.
He dragged the toe, but the other foot may have come down out of bounds first. So that's 41, Avery Salerno, who's not the regular punter. Matt Knoll is usually the punter, but Salerno is filling in today for Jackson State. And he'll punt right on this goal line.
Good Lord.
Snap is good, and it's almost blocked. May have been blocked. It's tough to tell. Got a good roll out of that, but the defender was right there as he kicked the football away.
Well, I do know he got hit, so if he didn't get, if they didn't touch that ball, that should be a flag on them.
Let's take a look as we head out to break. Boy, he just missed that. Almost a block punt. 38-15, Jackson State in control.
Where is the Where's the penalty flag? That 15, that needs to be 15 yards added to the play. That should be. $15 extra added. Somehow they left that flag stay in their pocket. They let that one stay in the pocket. Let's see what Grambling is hitting on. It's a close game. At Alcorn for their homecoming. A very close game. This one might come down to the wire. I cannot believe that flag wasn't thrown. They turned a blind eye to that one. I don't like that at all. You want to see them convert. So I guess we're gonna need our defense to come up with some big plays here. Missed the ball, but hit the kicker. And there was no flag thrown. Crazy.
Pass was low, though, from Xavier Langford. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining us, we are in the third quarter, 3:32 left to go. And it's been all Jackson State led by their defense today, 38-15.
Yeah, it's funny when you have a defense that leads the charge. The beauty of this one was they led the charge, but the offense provided the points right after, right? They didn't leave anything hanging. Every time they got an opportunity, they converted with touchdowns.
So here come the Bulldogs on second down, wide open. The catch is made down the sideline, and the other big tight end, Donovan Payne, is finally pushed down, but they're finding the tight end open in this game.
Again, great patience here and a great play call. He certainly was wide open down that side. Probably the second time today, though, that we've seen a misstep by the defense of the Tigers as far as coverage goes.
Payne takes it down to the 6-yard line, setting up a 1st and goal, and here comes Langford. Langford on the carry, and he scores the touchdown for the Bulldogs. Xavier Langford.
Well, if you're a Bulldog fan, that's exactly what you were looking for. Not just a quick drive to come down there and get some points, and they made it look easy.
Yeah, it almost looked like Jackson State wasn't set defensively. I mean, that looked almost too easy as the big fella rambled in for the touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, they ran a great play in there, and you're right, there was no one within 3-4 yards. And again, you don't usually see that. in a goal line stance or in that deep in the end zone.
So the second 2-point attempt of the third quarter coming up now for the Bulldogs. Last time Langford ran it in himself, and now we have a flag down, and that's going to be a timeout. And Connell Maynard and company are going to talk about this play. Let's take a look at that last play where Langford ran it in for the touchdown. You can see the defense just standing around.
No, they were still trying to figure out where they were going. They may have just gotten in the area where they were supposed to be, but you could tell they were not set and truly ready for that play. And again, props to the Bulldogs, getting it set, knowing where you're going, and getting after it, right? Very deliberate. When you play deliberate football like that, good things can happen. And again, right now, they call the timeout here because they want to make sure they know what they're doing for this 2-point conversion.
Yeah, Connell Maynard, who's an offensive coach. I mean, sometimes he calls the plays, and I mean, he's just all in on the offense, and here he wants to make sure this could be, we got a whole quarter left to play. This could be a very important 2-point conversion.
Tons of time.
Langford has a man in motion, and then now we have a flag before they could snap it. Illegal procedure will be called against the Bulldogs.
Wow. Now it looks like they'll change their mind. Now they'll just go ahead and kick the extra point, which is a smart play at this point.
Well, at this point, you want to get a point on the board. So he put Cam Young in motion there, and you can see the guard on the left side. The left guard flinched just a little bit. That's Neville Brown. Just barely moved, but enough for them to draw the penalty.
You like twitching your running backs and receivers when they're running with the ball, not your linemen.
So Victor Barbosa on with the field goal. Call it a 25-yard attempt. Good snap, good hole, and the kick by Barbosa is good. So tack on the extra point. The penalty pushed them back, so make it an extra point, and it's now 38-22. Jackson State still in charge. Man, we're talking about a shootout going on here. 24-19, 9-11 to go. Alcorn State and Grambling. Both of those teams are also 1-1 in SWAC play, so that's going to be one to keep an eye on, as it looks like it may go right down to the wire also.
Yeah, again, I mean, you know, we said at the beginning of our broadcast, it's SWAC time, right? It's you're either on or off. And again, so many teams all have everything in front of them, but they have to take care of your business, right? And again, you need to be consistent. You need to be handling it. And I'll say, I mean, you know, that was probably the one of the more dominant drives by the Bulldogs in this one. And you saw mistakes, chinks in the armor of the Tigers this time. A couple of bad coverages that allowed them to go real quickly for this drive for a touchdown. And again, the Tigers need to get after it if they're going to try to lock this game down. But the Bulldogs looking like they found their rhythm.
Well, they're pulled to within 16, and that's 2 possessions. And now Rico Powers on the kickoff return for Jackson State, and he gets it up to the 25-yard line. And it looks like the Bulldogs are playing with a little more life down there on the football field.
Yeah, no, again, you know, you give them a little bit of room, and you start seeing a spark in a team. And again, momentum is a crazy thing. All it takes is one turnover by the Tigers, a misstep, and then you're looking at something totally different.
Let's look at the quarterback comparisons here. As you can see, Brown, 10 of 21 for 145. And on the other side, Langford has come in and really done a good job for the Bulldogs since he's been out there.
Yeah, 11 of 19, 159, just that one interception, again, which was really an overthrow and a mistake. But his running, and again, I think the play calling, them stabilizing with the running, his ability to run, and then they're mixing up the plays have really helped out a lot.
3:02 to go in the third quarter. Jackson State up by 16 with the football, and they go to the jet sweep. And it's inside to Jacoby Hewitt, and he's going to turn it into a nice gain for the Jackson State Tigers.
Looks like
that's Miller.
Duke Miller. Yeah, but nice job, you know, misdirection play there on that. They did a really good job of coming around, creating a lot of room. And again, first down. And for the Tigers, it's real important for their offense to just have a good long drive here.
Yeah, Miller on the carry, the transfer from New Mexico. And they go back to the running game. This time, Mulligan just bouncing off of people like a bowling ball down there.
Yes.
And finally, he's going to be corralled near the 50-yard line.
And you know, that's probably the first run he's going to be really happy with because he was able to break something, get way more than was expected on that play. Look how much traffic is down here. He just keeps churning, won't go down, able to turn this into a really good carry.
So Jackson State moving the sticks, picking up a first down, and that's the last thing Alabama A&M was hoping to see happen on this drive as they pulled to within 16, 38-22.
They don't play like fast like they were doing in the first quarter.
And it keeps their offense off the field and then starts to drain their defense again, take that energy out of the air.
Brown going back to Mulligan. Straight ahead. He's going to get a couple of yards inside. Good job by the Alabama A&M defense that time responding.
Yeah, what power he shows in there, right? I mean, he was stopped early. Dimitri Morgan really was all over him from the beginning and then just yanking and pulling on him, trying to get him back, and he just kept churning those legs.
Yeah, it looked like nothing, and then he ended up with 3 yards, 2 yards, call it a 2-yard run.
And
so
again,
2nd and 8 coming up now for Jason Brown and the JSU offense. Movement on the line. That's going to be tough. There was a little movement there, but Alabama A&M came across quickly.
Yeah, game getting a little sloppy on both sides of the ball here.
Preston Clifford got it as illegal procedure.
Yeah, left guard.
Y'all, we have the marching 100. They came
like
to the
that.
chat.
Looks like DeAndre
They're
Towns
obviously
blue
not in Baton Rouge.
with that little
So
misstep
they came
there.
over here.
So it'll back him up.
So thanks for coming to
Scoreboard said we
visit us
stay
since you're not
2nd down, 2nd and 13. Brown to pass, and it's complete to Rico Powers, and he goes nowhere. A great play over there by Marquez Beeson.
Wow, Beeson looked like he was he's a cowboy in a rodeo tying up a steer, doesn't it? He just takes him down.
To play cornerback, you're out there on an island. You got to hang on when you
Imagine
make that
being
play.
in
So
no,
3rd and
the marching
13
100 is not
coming up for Rico Powers in the Jackson State offense.
Yeah, that particular pass, it is such a long pass, passing from the opposite hash all the way across. Your defenders have a lot of time to get back to the ball on those type of passes.
So Jason Brown, man, this is a tough down to come out and throw the football away. They may let it run to the end of the quarter, and that is what they do. So Jason Brown,
I could have sworn that 38 is definitely way more points than Sam Newton scored the last couple of games. He only scored 31, ain't it?
Tigers out in front, 38-22. We'll be right back.
You can take another minute and a half, 2 minutes off the clock. Try to keep the ball on the ground to keep that clock going. See that first down disparity. Alcorn with more first downs in the game, but those are the important numbers right there.
24.
Grambling with the 24.
If you're Alcorn, you got to start thinking about trying to get a stop here.
You see they got 8 in the box now and then to stop the running play.
What a tackle. And that's Cullen Scott on the tackle. That's how you know you're a lineman. You got the stomach over.
Yeah, that you talking about. Yeah.
There you go. That's how you know.
That's what you're talking about, right?
That's how you know you are a buffet buster. Complete to the 42. Javon Robinson with the reception.
Gremlin didn't come to play. They finna mess up Alcorn's homecoming.
That'll get them back.
Everybody hit G up in the input.
+1, so it's
Where
going to be
G
third
at?
down
I'm
and
start
9.
chasing him now.
They need to get to the Alcorn 49-yard line.
I know one
Look at
thing:
the
Jackson
clock,
State needs to score
4:45 and
this
ticking.
possession. I know that much.
Another big third down opportunity here for Grambling. 7 of 15 so far this afternoon, knocking on 50%.
Yeah, that's where Coach Jackson wants to get to, 50% on third down. Here's Crawley. Let's go. This one incomplete, trying to get it out to Antonio Jones, and now it's fourth down. If you're Alcorn, this is good because the clock stops.
Yeah, absolutely. The clock stops. Now, the good thing for Grambling, they were able to pick up a couple of first downs, change field position a little bit. So, if no
It's nice out there. 73 degrees. It's a nice day for football in Mobile, Alabama. End of the third quarter. So we've got 1 quarter left, y'all. We need a big touchdown right here. We need it to be 45-22. Absolutely have to get that touchdown this possession. It's mandatory.
Butch Alcindor along with Jorge Vargas getting set to start the fourth quarter here with Jackson State out in front 38-22. But they have a big down coming up here. 3rd and about 9 for first down. You see Brown look over to the sideline. Now they snap it. Brown with some time, under some heat, out to the sideline.
What in the hell?
It is
Where
incomplete.
is
He was
throwing
trying to
it
hit
to?
Seven McGee over there, but what a big stop by the Bulldogs.
Well, I'll tell you, we come out of that break, you see the band jumping and everyone getting excited. I think the Bulldogs start to feel like, hey, we've got some traction here. It's this is not, we can come back from this. And there's plenty of time. They just need a good drive right here, and they're right back in this thing. They just got to handle their own business and not look ahead.
Avery Salerno on to punt the ball away for Jackson State. And Terrell Gardner goes back deep to return for the Bulldogs. Down 16 as we get set to start the fourth quarter here. Boy, that was a lot of pressure on the kicker, but he got it away. And it's a good roll for Jackson State. What a roll. He had all that pressure in his face, but he got it away. And speaking of Jackson State, take a look at Herb Mulligan, who's starting to have an Herb Mulligan
been
kind of
getting
day
the rolls.
with 78 yards now.
Exactly.
ball
Again,
roll.
he was getting some really, really rough yards early, was only averaging, like three yards a carry. Picked it up in this second half already. 16 carries, 78 yards, 4.7 a carry. He's starting to get things together. And again, his team relies on him to do that.
So the Tigers will now go on defense, and Lankford comes back out at quarterback for Alabama A&M. We are early in the fourth quarter, 38-22. Lankford under some heat, tries to get away, and he throws the football as he's being pulled down. And they want the flag for illegal grounding, and I think they got it. We see they're talking to our referee, Preston Clipper, and they're going to talk about this.
I
What
think
you
the
talking
tough part of
about?
a
There
call
was
like
no
this
wide
one
receiver.
Is when a quarterback is throwing the ball and is getting hit in the action of throwing the ball. How can you call it? Because you don't know where it would have gone, but I guess they figured what the heck.
It is.
See, I think when he's throwing and gets hit, you don't know where the ball was trying to go.
Yeah, it's a fine line. There's no receiver in the area, so they threw down the flag. But I hear what you're saying. You're saying if you're pulling him down, maybe that's all he could get on the ball.
Right, exactly. And that's why he didn't get it where he was intending to go. Right, because you see his whole body turn. His arm was going back. He was looking down the field more. But when he was trying to throw it, his body got turned. Why?
There's not a wide
Watch, he's looking
receiver
up,
even
and
over
right
there on
he
that
gets
side.
turned.
There's
receivers up there. He just couldn't get it
not.
far enough.
No.
I think that's a bad call. But
so that penalty will push
Safety,
the Bulldogs
safety,
way back
safety.
to
Let's
about
go,
their own
Peppers.
3-yard
Put
line
Peppers in the game.
as they try to hike it in the shadow of their own goal line. Langford to pass under pressure, and he had to get rid of that one quickly as he was hit in his own end zone.
Well, that one,
Where was
actually, if you would have gotten rid of really fast, I think you'd have had Eaglin with some room to move there.
It may have gone for a touchdown. There was a lot of open spaces. If he just would have unloaded that football a little quicker, he didn't read it fast enough because where the blitz came from, if he could have found, hey, I agree with you. If he could have found Eaglin over there, he was open.
Yeah, and I mean, but again, you got a lot of guys bearing down on you. This is tough. Big 3rd and 18 play here for both teams. A little confusion on the Tigers' defensive back here.
So they're going to back off deep. Langford with some time. Oh, and he and his wide receiver had a miscommunication there. He thought the receiver was going to go up the sideline. He pulled up, and it goes down as an incomplete pass. And as we need to mention here, Langford is the backup quarterback, so he does not get the time in practice that maybe Quincy Casey gets with these guys.
Right, but Quincy Casey earlier in the game, and again, coach yelling at the receiver there, so it's a read issue there. But when Casey fumbled the ball back in the first quarter, Langford came in there, and he's done a really good job, I think.
7 McGee goes back to return it, but if you just go by Connell Maynard's reaction there, I kind of think the quarterback was right. 7 McGee fields the punt at the 50. Shakes a couple of tacklers, still on his feet. McGee again over the 30, still fighting his way down to the 25. An outstanding return by 7 McGee.
Let's go, Jack.
Will have the football in great field position with a 38-22 lead when we come back.
What in the world is going on? Whoa. Big 7 McGee with the carry. Put 16 in. Over.
With the Tigers going to the running a game.
They didn't want to wait, man. They were ready to go.
Straight ahead to Mulligan as he carries it right up the middle. They started with great field position here on this possession. So Brown turns. Boy, good job by Brown handling that snap into the end zone. It's a touchdown to 7 McGee.
Let's go,
So a tremendous play by Jason Brown. 1, to corral the snap, and 2, to make a perfect pass to 7 McGee in the end zone.
Well, that's 7 McGee's series, no doubt about that, right? The great special teams return, and then he comes in there and caps it up. Yeah, you're right. Great catch by the quarterback. It was a weird kind of snap, and then he finds McGee, and McGee, great adjustment to the football, right? I mean, when you're
let's
talking
go, Dylan.
or when that ball's in the air, it's got to want to be yours, and you got to make those adjustments.
Extra point is good, and the Tigers are on the board again. It wasn't 2 weeks ago we were talking to T.C. Taylor. He told us, I'm going to unleash 7 McGee. Wow, it's just a week late, but he unleashed at 45-22, Jackson State out in front.
All right. All we need now is like 2 more touchdowns and I'll be happy. 2 more touchdowns. We can get that. If you are just now tuning in, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you would like to make a donation to the channel, this particular live is demonetized. Of course, I can't monetize this live because it's, somebody else's property. So go ahead and hit the Cash App or the Super Chat and bless me with, whatever you feel led by. Thank you so much. No, Alcorn's winning. How is the Corn winning? What did Grambling do? Do they not have a kicker? They couldn't score even a field goal? Corn is winning. Oh, they're winning by 1 point. Lord, look, it's 25-24. Alcorn's winning by 1 point. And they have the ball. Or do they not have the ball? Who has the ball? I don't know who has the ball.
I have something for you. It's a security game.
I don't know who has the ball, but they ain't trying to lose for homecoming. They are not trying to lose for homecoming. 45-22, Alabama, A&M. How many? We're going to do another poll. How many of you guys think that Coach Maynard is going to get fired? No, I'm not going to do that. That's not nice. That's not nice. But how many of y'all think that the barking bulldog, his seat getting kind of hot, put a bulldog or a dog in the chat if you think that Coach Maynard's seat is heating up? Oh my goodness. Let me play that. Alabama A&M, you on the clock. And it looks like his time is getting kind of close. I don't know. I think that he might. Especially since a lot of these coaches, actually, if you want to be honest, a lot of these folks are on the hot seat because Coach TC is not supposed to lose to him. So a lot of folks are on the hot seat or their seats are hot.
Home Depot, proud sponsor of the swag, and by Nike. We talked about it before, that last Jackson State drive, that pass to Seven McGee, 15 yards after the penalty. Took them 2 plays to score, 24 yards and 28 seconds as Langford goes to work. That pass is incomplete as it was tipped. But how about that Jackson State? It did not take them long to get that ball into the end zone. Another short drive for points thanks to that punt return from Seven McGee.
Yeah, I think that's the story of the game. You get opportunities and you score quickly, and that's what they've done. Look at Eaglin, 5.3 a carry. Ryan Morrow, 3.0. They would like to give them a little more room, some bigger plays, but Eaglin has certainly played well.
So the pass from Langford is caught by number 11, LeVar Gums, making his first catch of the day.
Yeah, back to the 2 running backs. The thing I thought that the Bulldogs could have done earlier was feed them earlier. I thought they went to the pass too quickly out of the gate and didn't let their running backs get churning earlier.
So an empty backfield here for Langford as he's trying to get the ball snapped. 3rd and 6 to go for the first down. Langford has time, hits his man inside. That is Jacoby Hewitt, who makes the catch and picks up the first down for the Bulldogs. So this team continues to come back.
Yeah, there's no quit in them for sure. And I think what they're learning is, they're pretty good when they just flat out attack and mix it up.
Langford again from an empty backfield. Has some time. Fires to an open receiver, and the catch is made by Hewitt. Hewitt again coming down with the catch.
Hewitt did a great job of finding the open hole. There was no one open. Great coverage for the Tigers. And then he just kind of slid off the defender, found the open hole, gave his quarterback a target. Too many times people are like, well, where's the quarterback throwing? Well, a receiver's job is to get open, right? You run your pattern, but if you see that, hey, your quarterback's searching, you got to break off your pattern. You got to find the hole and make yourself available. and again, turn to show your quarterback. And that's what Hewitt did right there. Really, really good. And again, wound up with a good play.
Well, he did a good job of it there. He really did. You know, we were talking about Jackson State as we look at the Alabama A&M's running backs, and you were making that point about how maybe if they would have got those two guys going a little earlier,
yeah, I think
you never know.
Quincy put it too much on his own back at the beginning. They were playing it right out of the gate because I think they thought the Tigers knew they were going to run
Mr.
stronger
Price.
at the beginning.
And
So
thank you, Mrs. Minifield, for the donation to the channel. Thank you so much.
There, I think you got to hammer them a little bit and make sure they respect that run, and it would have taken a little bit of that off of Quincy Casey earlier.
Yeah, Casey was pulled early in the game, first quarter, and then Langford has kind of gone all the way since. Langford again hits the underneath guy. That is Cameron Young showing off his speed, and Young takes it all the way down to the 7-yard line. A lot of patience there by Langford, waiting for Young to clear out underneath, and he put that ball right on the money.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
11 minutes and 43
solid
seconds.
Game, and again, trying to get the reps you need to make sure you're ready in case something happens to the first team guy. It's always hard, but I think he's been in there, been in command, and have been very solid quarterback. Throwing the ball pretty well. And right here, he's having trouble getting the call from the sidelines.
Yeah, they're trying to get the right personnel back in place. First and goal to go. They fake the run to Morrow. Pass to the end zone, and it is a touchdown to Darren Turner. Turner with his first catch, and it's good for a touchdown.
And again, you saw him he saw the seam inside, and when he cocked that ball, he just drilled it. I mean, it was a fire. Look at him right here. He sees it. Boom. He guns it in there. And again, great catch.
That's the thing about Langford. Doesn't throw the prettiest ball, but he gets it there.
Yeah.
And that's all that really matters.
Right. And I mean, Darren Turner did a good job. And again, for the Tigers, they've had some really good coverage.
They go for 2 points again with an opportunity to cut this lead down to 15, make it a 2-possession game if they can convert. Langford under pressure, fires to the end zone, and he has it. Gums with the catch. LeVar Gums hauls it in, and the 2-point conversion is good, and it's a 45-30 ball game.
We need to run the ball.
Bulldogs just
Run the ball.
Langford on the
Run
TV
the ball.
pass. Back to within 15. 45-30.
We make sit-down chicken, stand-up chicken, backyard chicken, oops chicken, and all smiles chicken. If there's one thing we know,
Okay, so we absolutely have to just run the ball at this point. There's no reason for Jason Brown to try to do any type of deep throws. We don't need it. You don't need to do it. Right now, we're trying to win the game. Don't do it. Just run the ball. Okay? Run the ball. That's it. Coach Maynard said he got that dog in him. And he's fighting. It's 4 quarters. We need to see Jackson State know how to hold a lead. You have to run the ball. You have to. See?
Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs and we're ready to bite. Arr, arr, arr. You see, I'm excited, man. I'm ready to go. It's game week. It's conference week. And, and this is going to rub off on my team. Those guys are excited. We had a good practice this morning. Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs. Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs and we're ready to bite. Arr, arr.
They trying to bite us. You can't let that man bite you. Come on now. You're going to have to come up with something. This ain't it. You cannot let them score that quickly. Cannot let them score that quickly. He's over here trying to bite us. Too many snakes on the plane. It's annoying. I cannot believe we have that many snakes up in here heckling us. It's going to be all fun and games till they end sudden. Wait, doesn't their game start? When does their game start? Over here heckling us. You over here heckling us and we can ready whoop tail.
In conference play, but they got to come back and at least get themselves an opportunity for a field goal.
And you see the penalty did go against Alcorn, so it's a first down for Grambling. So stay tuned, everyone. Tigers still in it, trailing by 1. And we come back here to our Tigers, the Jackson State Tigers. We go from Tigers to Tigers. They're leading 45-30. We have a little more time left. We have 11-12 to go in this game. Now, that last touchdown drive, Jorge, let's update that a little bit to Darren Turner. 6 plays, 58 yards. It took them 2 minutes and 15 seconds before Langford tossed that touchdown pass 7 yards to Darren Turner.
Yeah, and as for Langford, 217 yards passing, just over 50%, 57% passing, 2 touchdowns. He had that 1 INT. That was just an overthrown ball. But he's played really well coming in for Casey.
So Jackson State called the timeout.
They'll be doing an onside kick here, it appears. If they can get the ball to stay from rolling off.
Yeah, they tried one earlier in the game and came very close to recovering it. The Tigers from JSU, very much aware of what's going on. And the kick, he kicks it off full instead. So Alabama A&M crossed them up a little bit. And the Tigers will try to return it from deep in their own territory. Julian Smith, the wide receiver, picked it up. Wow.
I like that. That is a really smart call there. Again, and what a leg for the kicker to be able to boot it that far over everyone's head with just basically 2 steps.
Yeah, it put Julian Smith in a bad, between a rock and a hard place because he thought it might go in the end zone, so he didn't want to pick it up.
Correct.
But he felt like, I got to pick it up.
Yeah.
So the Tigers are going to start. The ball resting right near the 5-yard line, 1st and 10. They have the lead with 11:09 to go in the ball game. Jason Brown has gone all the way, hands to Herb Mulligan, and Mulligan is hit down hard.
Zarian Hayes from the backside collapsed on that.
Yeah, Mulligan is a tough runner, and he'll get every inch that he can get. But we have a player down.
Look at Zarian.
Zarian Hayes.
And again, the Zarian was running behind Mulligan. And then when he got hammered from the beginning, Hayes kind of got hit because he collapsed with Mulligan. And so he kind of got the brunt of that as well. But that shows you also how tough Mulligan is.
As we check out our SWAC standings, that's coming into today. So we haven't put any of the updates yet. But as you see, coming in, 3-0 Florida A&M. And on the other side, Grambling and Southern, both 2-0. But so early in the season, I mean, too close to call. We have 2 great games going on right now. You got Grambling at Alcorn State. That game is going right down to the wire. You know, you have a good game that we're calling right now. It's going to be a whale of a SWAC race this year.
Oh, yeah. No, everything's wide open. I mean, Florida A&M, I mean, they're the one, I think, dominant team that's been as consistent as anyone. And they have been that for several years. But you know, every team, if they handle their business, they've got an opportunity.
That's a good sign right there. Zarian Hayes coming off on his own power, just shaking up a little bit. Like you said, there was kind of a crowd there at the point of the tackle. So he may have just been shaken up, and that's good news for the Bulldogs from Alabama A&M. So 2nd down coming up now for the Tigers. Jason Brown will pass it. Goes downfield, has a receiver, and what a great diving catch by Duke Miller. Brown put that right on the money, but how about the effort from Duke Miller?
Let's go,
Pulling
Duke.
that one in.
You're right. I mean, Brown did a nice job, but boy, Miller, just watch him just dive up for that ball, get every bit of his length he could. And you can see he's leaning right from the beginning there because the coverage was great. The catch was better.
Well, and for those of you at home who thought T.C. Taylor might take the air out of the football, it's not happening. Down the sideline, a nice gain on that play. Brown pass to Duke Miller was good for 29 yards on that completion. And then they come back to Mulligan. Mulligan slides inside. He's going to have 6 yards on that carry. So they go to old reliable in the backfield as we tick down to the 9:40 point in this ball game.
Yeah, and again, Mulligan, those kind of running backs, they're like, you know what, keep feeding me. This is when you want to close out this game, give it to number 5, and that's exactly what running back like him is telling his coach. Hey, there's a player down. It looks like
it's one of the Bulldogs near the sideline over there. Yeah, there are a lot of different philosophies when you're ahead late in the game, but a lot of coaches just feel like we have to do what we do, and what happens. That looks like it's Caleb Dawson down there, number 2, but he's getting up also. It's really hard to try to go to, let's say we're just going to run the ball and try to keep the clock running.
Well, look, anytime you're predictable, right? Any part of the game, doesn't matter what. When you're predictable, you're easier to defend, period, right? So that's what happens. You get ahead, and then you start becoming predictable because, okay, we're going to run out the clock. I think the smart thing is to try to slow yourself down. You're not trying to run plays as fast as you may normally. But if you're a pace team, you kind of have to keep your pace to a certain point, but adjust. You have to adjust. But again, mixing up the play call, though, defensively, it keeps the defense on their heels, and you get long drives. And again, the Tigers, the one thing they've done this entire game, regardless of where they are, they've been very aggressive, and it's paid off for them.
They've had a game plan, and they've obviously stuck with it. 2nd down and 7 to go now for Jason Brown. Puts Hagler in motion to the left.
Looks like they're
Brown just taking his time. The clock is now running. They were waiting for the officials to start the clock again, and they did. And so now they're going to just milk it down. It's a guessing game for the defense as they keep trying to slide to where they think the ball's going to go. And it's a direct snap to Mulligan. And he's going to slash his way inside for about 4 yards.
Well, I think on a play like that, every time I see when everyone's lined up like that for so long on a defensive side, you get antsy, right? And you just you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. The offense knows what they're going to do. Defensively, you have to be intense waiting on when that moment happens. So it takes a little bit more energy to be in a defensive position in those type of plays.
That was a little wrinkle we haven't seen today. The direct snap to Mulligan.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to have a 3rd down and short coming up for Jackson State to keep this drive alive. Trying to give them different looks up front is that defense. Mulligan hit in the backfield and dropped. Zarian Hayes back in the ball game, but there is a flag down. But what a defensive play.
Again, I talked about Zarian's going to have to make some plays happen. He sure has. He just came flying off the edge. They did not account for him.
That's a false start against the offense. So another key penalty for Jackson State.
Coach Taylor not liking that call.
Well, and I mean to tell you, I bet Alabama A&M is not too crazy about it either because they have to take the penalty. Had they had the option, they would have declined it to get the football.
Yeah.
So now we're going to have 3rd and 8 instead of 3rd and 3. Brown rose to his left, looking deep. Now he's going to tuck it. Brown goes down shy of the 1st down. So a good defensive recovery there by the Bulldogs. Montrell Campbell in the vicinity to make sure he didn't get any further than that.
But Brown did a smart job. Once he realized he couldn't make that first down, he went down this time without juggling the ball, smoothly went down inbounds so the play clock keeps rolling, and that takes time away from Alabama A&M.
Definitely.
You could tell it was very deliberate. He was going to run, and then he could see he didn't make it, and he just folded and went down. And again, that clock now becoming really big for the Bulldogs.
They should run for first. They should.
That is Terrell Gardner back, awaiting the punt. It goes off the side of his foot. It goes straight up in the air, and it's going to take a Bulldogs bounce as it was bouncing back toward Jackson State. So that's a tough situation. Jackson State, not even with a backup punter. You know, their punter is injured, and man, you're seeing some of the results of that right here.
Sure, and again, they've been allowing way too much pressure as well. But again, the net of this one's going to be, 0 or 5 yards? I mean, this is a punt that I think went maybe to the line of scrimmage. I mean, that is a tough one, but again.
Salerno's punt, loss of 2 yards, so make it -2 on the punt. Wow.
But again, Bulldogs
They
now
need
in
to,
business.
they need to pack the box.
They just got to handle their business
They like
right
to
now.
run
They
it.
got great
They
field
got to
position.
pack the box.
And we have a whistle before Langford could get the snap away. But you have Avery Salerno punting, and again, he's filling in. He's doing the best he can, but
Let's
that's
keep
going to
it
be
a
an
buck.
illegal procedure call.
They hit
But it's a pressure
Salerno
situation
probably
now. We're
about
getting
2 or
late in
3
the ball game.
times.
But
They
it's
hit him, and
pressure,
he
but
did not
the
get
entire time,
a
whatever
penalty.
the Bulldogs have been
They've
doing,
been
Jackson State has not
continuously
adjusted to the blocking
hitting
schemes because they've had
the
pressure
pencil.
on them every single time. I think you've mentioned at least 3 punts that they've almost had blocked, right? And that one, that was the 4th one. And again, that's just a lot of pressure over and over and over again.
1st and 15 for Langford. Lobs it high near the sidelines, and it's going to be intercepted off the tip. Interception by Jackson State down the sidelines, and he could not stay in bounds. That was Jaheen Hazel. Jaheen Hazel on the interception after the pass was tipped. The second tip ball interception by Jackson State in this ball game.
Yeah, and Langford has been a really good job of not trying to force it. But watch here. He's got pressure at him. He's throwing off his back foot. There's 2 defenders, winds up 3, all in the same area. When that ball comes down, and again, tip drill again, and the Tigers have been the people that they've recovered every time there's a tip in the air. They've gotten it, I think, every time but once.
I was watching
Somebody give me a
Hazel as he came down the
shot of
sideline there, and I
Patron.
thought there was a very good chance.
Now,
he was
that's the
gonna take it
no-fly
all the
zone
way,
I
and
was
then,
talking about in the summer.
he ended up stepping out of
That's the
bounds.
one
He
I was
did get
talking about.
pushed, but not tackled.
Yeah, no. I think he was kind of out of control a little bit balance-wise the whole time running down there. But he did, again, got the big play.
So the officials right now, Preston Clipper and his crew, they're going to take a look to mark exactly where he went out of bounds before they give the football back to Jackson State.
Yeah, because he was towing that line for a while. I guess you got to figure out where where his foot was. 4 turnovers today. That just shows you the tenacity of this Tigers defense, making things happen. And again, right there is where he went out first.
Wow.
Yeah, so he didn't get very far. I thought he stayed in longer.
Yeah, Hewitt was the receiver there that forced him out of bounds, but I don't know that he even made any contact. It looked like he was behind.
Yeah, I just think he was like kind of out of control a little bit, and probably so daggum excited he got the interception. You know what coaches always say, when you get that excited, that's why you're a defender, not a receiver.
So Jaheen Hazel with the interception off the tip pass, his 6 foot, 190-pound graduate student coming out with a really big play for Jackson State here in the 4th quarter with 6:21 to go in the ball game.
And again, the Bulldogs have done a great job of not stopping the entire time, and they've been fighting this entire game. But that may be the final straw as far as breaking their back, as far as the comeback goes, and especially the way the Tigers have answered. Every time they've gotten a turnover, they turned it into not 3 points, but they've turned it into 7.
Yeah. And Forrest in Alcorn. They are down to the final 5 seconds to go. Alcorn State still hanging on to that 1-point lead, 25-24 over Grambling.
So you think we're going to see some magic here from Grambling?
Well, Grambling looked really good last week in the State Fair Classic when they knocked off Prairie View. They played a really good game, but boy, they're going to need some of that magic. Maybe they can get Doug Williams. Maybe he has some eligibility left, and we can get Doug back on the field.
Well,
But it's ticking down now. They readjust the clock. It's down to 2 seconds to go. Miles Crawley will have his final shot at this as he looks around. Last play of the game. It goes to 0. Crawley puts it up deep, and it is going to be intercepted by the Braves. So that'll do it. What a big win for Alcorn State at home, knocking off Grambling 25-24. Here we have Jackson State in control. They lead the ball game here 45-30 with 6:14 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that may put Mulligan just right under 100. Well, it's going to be a flag, so that play will be called back. But he's at 95 yards on the day right now.
Yeah, and there were 95 tough yards. I mean, no easy runs for him today.
No gimmies. He had 124-yard, one that he broke away, and that's probably the only one he's actually happy with, quite frankly, because he feels like he could break it to the house every time he touches the ball.
So Preston Clipper and crew didn't call a lot in the first half. We've had a lot more, very clean game in the first half. We had a lot more penalties here in the second half.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just seeing a lot more.
If you're just joining us, it's the annual Gulf Coast Challenge in Mobile with Jackson State taking on Alabama A&M, the Bulldogs. Both teams came in with the same identical records. Of course, Jackson State, the two-time defending SWAC champions they've won the East and the SWAC championship. So they've gone to the Celebration Bowl the last 2 years. And here they're taking their time as the clock starts to run again. And the whistle blew before Brown could get the snap away.
That had to be too much time. I mean, I don't.
Not a delay game.
And again, the Bulldog players kept pointing at something, several of them. And it just seemed like the Tigers just kept, well, we'll just let this thing keep running.
No flag, so they picked it up. If it was down, they just had a little conversation there. And now we're going to move on. 1st and 20 for Jackson State. Ball deep in their own territory, resting at about the 18-yard line. And you just can't think of much that they didn't do well today. And now there's movement, and Hagler jumps offside. There's a lot. Something's just not right now. Something's not in sync.
Yeah, I'm not. For whatever reason, there just seems to be some confusion on. And again, the Bulldogs did a great job of all shifting, which made the Jackson State jump. And that's where the Tigers really just have to keep their composure and close this thing out as far as they're concerned. Bulldogs want something big to happen, right? They just need a mistake.
No, we don't need no mistakes.
And just, I mean, again, all it takes is one
just
quick
close
mistake.
out the damn
and
game.
This game turns on a dime in a heartbeat.
Close out the damn game.
Tigers just have to make sure they hang on the ball and don't give the Bulldogs something here. But now you got a 1st and 25. You're pretty predictable.
He backed him up 5 more. So Preston Clipper with the call there and the mark off. Tigers just trying to snap this ball.
Good Lord. What? Stop taking so damn long and snap the damn ball. What are you doing?
It's in motion. Mulligan on the handoff, and Mulligan's only going to get a yard, maybe 2 at best.
5 minutes and 15
he's doing
seconds
a good job
left.
of watching the clock and letting it
Y'all
go
doing
all the
too
way
damn
down
much with the
before he
damn
snaps
clock.
it.
You don't have to just run the
Let's
ball.
pause for a timeout now. 45-30.
Good Lord.
Jackson State out front.
Okay, so that whole waiting until it, just run the damn ball, please. Just run the ball. This is absolutely ridiculous. 2 plays for negative 16 yards for this particular drive. Absolutely ridiculous. Alabama A&M called a timeout. There's 5 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Look, I don't know what this is. This is not the NFL. We ain't doing it like that. So stop it. Just run the damn ball. But you can't run the clock and then take a penalty, Mario. If they were running the clock correctly and snapping the ball, I would say okay. But if you're getting offsides calls, and not only did they get an offsides call, they also got a false start call. So that's in 2 plays, you basically backed it up further down into your own red zone. That's not good. Oh, okay, making Alabama A&M use all their timeouts. The coaches can't coach. You know you don't have a kicker. Why get penalties to push you back and make it easier for the other team? We do have a kicker. He's been doing relatively well. Let's not start the kicking thing. Avery Salerno, that last kick was abysmal, but that punter, Avery, he's been getting demolished. I think he took at least 3 hits, and none of them were calls. Roughing the kicker. And he hasn't gotten even 1 call. Southern's up by 6. If Southern gets more than if Southern gets up 14-0, I might have to stream that game too. So I control the rattlers. Get us some fried rattlesnake, y'all. We finna get us some fried rattlesnake.
Back.
There we go.
Mulligan.
There we
Mulligan's
go,
still on his
Mulligan.
feet, and Mulligan may have gotten it. Wow.
Mulligan knows how to
had a
move
little
that
crease,
ball.
turned it into a big gain, and it looked like he picked up the first down. Let's see. Nice. He wasn't happy to go out of the ball game, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, he just felt like he should have sprung this one. Again, like I said, he's unhappy unless he is truly breaking him to the house. But that puts him over 100 yards for the day. Maybe someone will tell him that, make him calm down.
So he was shy of the first down, yes.
Yeah, and he felt he should have gotten there.
So back to
They
return
should-
for the Bulldogs,
they should have
Terrell
went for
Gardner.
You
And
might
the
as
adventure
well.
continues. I think we have a different punter now for Jackson State. That would be Dylan Wasson, who came on after that last punt. Did not work out so well, so here's Gardner trying to make something happen.
But again, you still see the pressure. The pressure every time they get the ball. The Bulldogs are getting to the back pretty quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if TC Taylor had tryouts on campus next week and to try to look at some guys kicking the football. Because
We already did have tryouts.
You know, it's just been brutal, the injuries they've had at that one position, and it's affected the punting and the field goal kicking. So Langford back on. Will throw inside. Got his man. Nice
They
catch
got
there by
Langford
Kenny
out
Young.
here looking like Lamar Jackson.
He's played a fine game. He's been very consistent today, done a really good job for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, 5 catches, 81 yards, 16 a catch. I mean, he's
4 minutes. Let's run this clock.
So now we have a Jackson State player down, and Preston Clipper stops play to take a look at him.
Hazel.
It's Hazel, who had the big interception just a few minutes ago. So, boy, I'm sure Coach TC Taylor is not liking that at all.
No.
And he's not putting a whole lot of weight on that leg. Let's hope he's all right.
Young man from Raleigh, Mississippi.
Oh, it's not ESPN.
That's the one thing you hate to see late in the game. You know, it's 4:05 left.
Oh, there he goes. Put a little weight on it. There we go. That's good to see.
Beaufort, South Carolina is hometown for Jaheim Hazel. And now we're getting some fresh blood in on defense there for the Tigers.
The FAMU game is on ESPN.
Again, I mean, look, a quick hit by the Bulldogs, and then that relaxation can end in a hurry.
Just under 4 minutes here to go. Pass underneath, complete. And Cam Young gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
He has been impressive.
You look at this game. Of course, as soon as they line up, it'll start again, and there we go. So Alabama A&M has to get ready to go as soon as that ball is set. Every second is important now. Langford again near the sideline has his man. That should be a first down to Darren Turner, who also had a touchdown earlier.
I ain't never seen a damn game last this long. It's not supposed to last
you look
that
at some
long.
of the things that Alabama A&M have done in this ball game.
Good
and
Lord.
if not for the turnovers, they're right there. They're right there. So Langford has to keep, and he's not going to get too far. Khalil Arrington is there to
Doyle.
I think the character of the Bulldogs, I feel, has been impressive. At one point of this game, they looked like they were defeated. They just keep coming.
Langford under pressure finds the open receiver. It's Cam Young again, who's now closing in on 100 yards in this game.
That may have done it.
They want to get there quickly. We're under 3 minutes to go in the game. Langford again through the sidelines. He had a guy double covered, but he got the ball to him. It's a good catch by Darren Turner.
Langford looks really solid, and again, he's done a nice job of delivering that ball, making his reads quick.
We need another interception here.
Well, if he can
Another
called it a
interception.
minute ago, a quick touchdown here
Oh, no.
as Langford keeps it. Hit at the 5, and he stretches out to about the 3-yard line. So Xavier Langford making a big play on the drive as we get down to the 2:18 mark to go in this ball game. Langford is going to keep it again, looking for a little crease, and he got it. Langford in for the touchdown as he stretches over the goal line. Big fella ran the quarterback draw 2 consecutive plays.
To give him some oxygen, I'm telling you.
Now he's trying to catch his breath. So what a job by Langford on the drive, getting the touchdown with 2:10 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, he needs some oxygen, man. I tell you. But what a great drive by him, and again, passing, running, and just determination.
Do you kick it or do you go for 2 here?
I think you kick it here just to make sure that you still have all the reason to stay in this.
Oh, so the touchdown was wiped out, folks. There was a holding call on the play, and so Langford throws it, and now it's intercepted. But another flag is down, and this one might be for pass interference. So we had the touchdown. It looks like he had a touchdown. He celebrated, and then guilty of the hold, backed him up, and throws it in the end zone. Appeared to be a Jackson State interception, but there was another flag, and that one could be for pass interference.
Yeah, let's see how this shakes out. But boy,
good Lord.
Bulldogs keep coming.
Black
man.
refs don't know how to
They just
cheat.
keep coming.
They don't know how to fix a game. Like,
But again,
black
that was an
refs are
ill-advised
absolutely
pass by him. He had
terrible at
pressure on him.
fixing games.
And again,
They
if
do
you're the
not know how to
Tigers, you
do
got to
it.
come right in his wheelhouse, right down the middle there. Look at Boehner out there telling him he's giving direction.
Yeah, and that's the second time he's been talking to a receiver who apparently did not run the right route or did not make the right adjustment on the route. And now he wants his teams to stay out of it. Hey, don't be arguing with these guys. So Maynard fired up over there.
Well, it was funny there. Guthrie, there's the pass right there. Let's see what happens here. I'm not sure what they called there. I don't see defensive interference. Do you?
Let's see. Let's take a look. It's something that must have happened before Turner cut inside.
They called it on defense. And holding on defense.
So it's a personal foul and a hold against the defense. And I think the personal foul happened later after the play was over.
What?
And Connell is fired up over there, man. He wants his team to get fired up.
What in the tire?
Forget the headsets.
The entire.
So his team is going to end up with the 1st and goal. We still have 2:10 to go in the ball game.
This is some
Tell you what,
BS.
Langford's pretty demonstrative with the sidelines, letting them know he wants to know what is it you want me to do.
Langford on the keeper this time, and he's dropped in the backfield by Arrington. A great tackle there. Now they're going to have
Hurry
to
up and get back.
This time is becoming a
Hurry
factor.
up and get back.
Sure, I like
Hurry
that
up and
call.
get back. Get set. Hurry up and get set. The defense needs to hurry up and
So
get
now
set.
they don't have a play, and the clock continues to roll.
Yeah, Cameron Young across the middle here. They're going to run a slant with him.
Well, you got to throw Young. Pass into the end zone, incomplete, trying to hit Turner. Turner was trying to come inside on the slant. Pass was low. He could not maintain possession of that ball. Couldn't really get it down that low.
Ain't nobody calling no timeout. What you blowing whistles for?
Good coverage there.
Let's go, Hughes.
Man, I mean, that is textbook coverage.
Hurry up and get set.
They're just on the hip of the receiver.
Hurry up and get set.
Their left hand, his left hand
Don't
right there
stand
was
around.
ready to attack the ball as it came.
And again, Langford wants the play in the game. And
Why is the clock stopped?
the incomplete pass stopped the clock, but he was ready to go. Now you're trying to get it snapped. Alabama A&M trying to punch it in to close a little closer. And they're going to go to Langford again, and he's going to be out of bounds. Wow. Didn't even have a chance that time.
What in the world?
You got to think maybe.
No, he didn't really have to. He didn't
No,
have to. He didn't
he's
have
open.
to back up. He didn't have to back up there. And again, you see him with his hands on his head. He's furious at himself for throwing an inaccurate pass. He made the right read, just didn't deliver it.
Well, they got exactly what they wanted on that play, and they went to the man you thought they would go to, which was Cameron Young, and he just did not put the ball on the numbers where it needed to be.
Yeah, but Bulldogs, man, they just, Cam Young, 110 yards, 8 receptions, 1 touchdown. And again, Langford, let's look at his numbers. I mean, he was 21 of 35, 60% completion, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs. For a guy stepping in, not being ready for that, he played a heck of a football game.
Jackson State has 1:30 left to kill, and they will. And the Tigers are going to improve their record to 4-2 overall, 2-1 in SWAC play. So that's going to push them up to the top near that log jam. And technically, they are the defending champions until somebody beats them, even though Florida A&M obviously is in the driver's seat now.
100%.
Because they have the win, they have the head-to-head matchup.
Correct. It's like 2. It's like you're up 2 because you've won the head-to-head as well. Again, I almost get nervous about kneeling here.
Let's ask our producer, Sam Schrade, if they want to talk player of the game at this point. 45 seconds as we tick down. Final 45 seconds to go. Yeah, Langford very upset on the bench, and he because he knew he had him. And
well, I mean, I know he's upset, and he certainly, but man, how he led that team, he did a great job. And again, that was still, you just scored that touchdown. You just still had to find a way to get the ball back again and have another opportunity.
You talk about big performances, and you have to talk about the Jackson State defense because they were all over the field today. I mean, 4 turnovers, just an outstanding effort tonight by Jackson State on defense, and they've now done it for their last 2 games in a row. So let's talk player of the game. Tonight's player of the game, presented by Gatorade. We had a lot of contenders for this, but when it was all said and done, we had to go with Jason Brown, the quarterback. 14 of 26 for 202 yards and 3 touchdowns. But he had a lot of help from his defense tonight. So congratulations to Jason Brown, tonight's player of the game, presented by Gatorade. But he threw some beautiful passes there.
I think what Jason Brown did to me today was he just showed to be very consistent and a good leader. Didn't try to force too many things. Took what was available. I mean, ran the ball when he had to. And again, that's not necessarily his cup of tea as well. 46 yards or 29 net yards gained running the ball. So, I mean, he did what he had to do for his team and was very stable. And the Tigers offense turned those turnovers into touchdowns, not field goals, and they were deliberate in how they scored. And so I think it was impressive of how they did it. But the Tigers defense is a star as well.
Well, Jorge, let me get you to wrap this up as we tick down to the final seconds of the ball game tonight. Wrap this thing up for us.
I'll just say, Jackson State's a really good football team. They want to be dominant. They want to remain dominant like they were last year and continue the winning tradition they have established. I think Coach Taylor has done a great job of getting his team together. Defensively, they play with a tenacity. I think their defensive backs are amazing. They're a very complete football team. And when they put it together, they can put a clinic on just like this. But I have to say, the Bulldogs, they never said die. They played extremely, extremely hard till the very end. And they're a really good football team. They just got behind early and couldn't find a way to turn it around.
Coach T.C. Taylor improving to 4-2 overall, 2-1 in SWAC play. So for Jorge Vargas, our producer,
I'm gonna just let you know right now. If Sudden even pinches FAMU and gets up 13-0, I will be going live again. Yes, I will be going live again. I said I was going to be done for the night. But if Sudden
Trevonte Davis
goes up any further,
as the Rattlers
if they go up any further,
and I think
I'm gonna go live and stream that one too. Big game, great game. I definitely think that the second half, we could have definitely offensively converted, but once again, the defense comes up big in a lot of those scenarios. I've never seen a game play out with that many penalties, with that many stops. And it just seemed like the second half dragged on. It was terrible. So, recap of the game. Did y'all see who was the player of the game? They made Jason Brown the player of the game. So, despite frustrations, Jason Brown was 14 of 26. I could probably vouch for maybe at least 3 of those passes being passes that should have been caught. So he's throwing at about roughly 54% completion rate. He had 3 touchdowns, 202 yards. Jacobian Morgan had our other quarterback. He had 2 touchdowns. Fabian McCray had 1. Seven McGee had 1. No, Seven McGee had 2 touchdowns. 2 receptions for 20 yards. He averaged 10 yards per catch for 2 touchdowns. Well, actually, his longest was 15, so that means he had a 5-yard catch. So, it was a big game for the defense. Very big game. 3 interceptions this particular game. If they would have counted Kevrick Wiggins, that would have been another interception. So a lot of interceptions. I'm very pleased with the secondary. I have been calling the secondary the no-fly zone for quite some time, and I'm still going with it. Our DBs played exceptionally well. Even in the second half, we had some great stops. As you know, the DB coordinator is Coach Terenzo Quinn. And then, of course, we have Coach Mario Magana. He's assistant defensive backs coach. So Jalen Hughes was doing an amazing job. There were some pass breakups. Anthony Petty, Kevrick Wiggins. A lot of the balls that were popped up by Jackson State defenders and then caught. Isaiah Guthrie's, Keedron Culligan, Broderick, BJ Washington, he got his 2nd interception of the season. So our DBs played exceptionally well in coverage today. Very well. I'm pleased. I'm going to drop the StreamYard just in case anybody wants to come up and say anything regarding this game. Based off of the amount of points that we put up this week, we definitely needed that bye week. But we left at least, how many points do you guys think we left out on the field? I say at least 3 touchdowns. There's at least 21 points that were left out on the field. Even though we won, we left out at least 21. Yep, that's what I said. At least 21 points on the field that was left out. There's no reason why it shouldn't have been 60 plus on this particular game. And I'm not going to go too hard on Jason Brown, because one thing that we saw him do was run when we know he's not that fast of a quarterback, but he'll take off and make the plays that he needed to play to extend the play. So he was getting those first downs. So I applaud him for doing that. The DBs this game and the defense, that front 7, they definitely did an exceptionally well job of putting pressure on Quincy Casey to the point where coach had to pull him. Coach had to pull him. He said, get out the game. You're doing too much. And when Jason has time in the pocket and his offensive line is holding up, he can throw a deep ball. The wide receivers just have to bring it in. And I think he showed that with Fabian McCray, who, although Fabian McCray had a couple of drops, he caught that big touchdown into the in the end zone. So I was pleased. Overall, I'll rank the defense. The defense in the first half, I would definitely rank an A. The second half, I would say a C plus, just because there was some plays that we gave up that we shouldn't have given up. Absolutely think that we should have closed the gaps to not allow them to run so much. Hopefully Jency is okay. We knew that it was going to be a battle of the trenches, that there was going to be some offensive and defensive battles between Alabama A&M and Jackson State. I would like to see, once again, the O-line continue to develop. I haven't seen Coinus in a long time. I think he's injured. Devontae Davis, Jeremiah Williams, Antonio Doyle, I saw him as well. Tyus Martin, Phillip Webb. I don't know what transpired from the second half, unless it was just Alabama A&M making those adjustments and Jackson State not being able to convert. And I think that's probably what it was. And so Southern and FAMU, they're in a battle. Like I said, right now, Southern has the ball. If Southern gets up on FAMU by 2 touchdowns, I'll be going live, and you can catch me watching that game. Everybody, if you're still in here, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and feel free to make a donation to the chat, or excuse me, to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all have a blessed night.
Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs and we're ready to bite. Arr, arr, arr. You see, I'm excited, man. I'm ready to go. It's game week. It's conference week, and and this is gonna rub off on my team. Those guys are excited. We had a good practice this morning. Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs. Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs and we're ready to bite. Arr, arr, arr. You see, I'm excited, man. I'm ready to go. It's game week. It's conference week, and and this is gonna rub off on my team. Those guys are excited. We had a good practice this morning. Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs. Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs and we're ready to bite. Arr, arr, arr. You see, I'm excited, man. I'm ready to go. It's game week. It's conference week, and and this is gonna rub off on my team. Those guys are excited. We had a good practice this morning. Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs. Man, I'm very excited, man. We Bulldogs and we're ready to bite. Arr, arr.